to get some things set up, but we are here, and as everybody knows, we did see Wakanda Forever last night. I definitely have thoughts. I definitely have things that I want to say. I'm sure everybody else does too. But I also don't want this stream to be a funeral like we attended last night. I don't want this to be a downer. I don't want this to be something that... Obviously, there are going to be moments that are down because there's nothing really that I can... There's nothing that I have positive to say, honestly. I'm just being candid already. But before we get into the positive things that we're going to discuss, we are going to get off to the bad things, get the things off of our chest that we have to get off. Then we'll move into the things that we liked about the film, and then on and on. Does it do anything to further the mythology of the MCU? All those questions. We're going to get into all that. And if you guys have questions in between there while we're talking, for those of you that haven't seen it, please feel free to put those in the chat there. Obviously, there are so many leaks and things that are going around. Just about everything that if you've been here for months, if you've been here since we've been talking about this, if you're new here, before we even get into anything, let me go ahead and do that. I'm sorry, I'm jumping the gun. If you're new here, the link is down in the description. You can join our Discord. In our Discord, if you feel like there's a topic that you want to see us talk about throughout the week, you can send us that topic to that link there. We talk with you guys in there. We interact with you guys in there. When we do giveaways, that's the easiest way to get in contact with us. We can get your address and things like that. So that link is down there, and if you're new here, again, like I said, you can go ahead and hit that subscription button so that you don't miss out on anything that we might do in the future, if you like what you see. But, again, if you've been here for months, since we've been talking about Wakanda Forever, the decision not to recast T'Challa, etc., then we've talked about the plot leak. We've known the events that were going to happen in this film. And the things that happened in this film were verbatim for what we read in the plot leaks. Yep. I'll let you start. You go ahead and start. What did you? I guess I'll give you guys something to feed off of. For me personally, I will never, this is in my never MCU movie list, I will never watch this film again. Ever. And I do mean that. And the reason being is because, and I'm going to try to hold, because it's hard, bro. That first scene. Yeah. I'm good. Yeah. You took me through the ringer in that first scene. The movie just opens. Yeah. And we are already in, for everybody that's been out there in the beginning, that's been against anti-recast, coming into the conversation not knowledgeable, been saying things like, they're not going to do this with Chadwick's death. They're not going to. That scene opened with a prayer to Bast, saying, "If you help me figure out a cure to my brother's illness, I'll believe in you again." Then you hear the AI talking about T'Challa's heart rate is dropping, and it gets so fucking real. And it's not, and I'm by this time I'm in tears by the time the AI is already talking. I'm in tears by the time she's even saying the prayer, because it's so real. And I'm in tears for two reasons. One, because I'm having to relive Chadwick's death, but this time I'm actually there this time. The first time I wasn't there. The first time I heard it like everybody else. But this time I was literally there. I didn't see Chadwick, and yes, this is on the movie, this is on the screen, but I'm there this time. And I'm watching all this play out. But then I'm also crying because it is solidifying the death of a character that, I know we've said this so many times, but I've never really gone into the detail about me personally. You're taking a character off, like, I read Marvel Comics outside of Black Panther, but that's my guy. And I'll never, this might sound like a movie cliche, whatever, but again, as I've talked about, we didn't have spaces where we could talk about... I didn't growing up. I didn't have... My group of friends wasn't into comics, wasn't into any of that. Outside of Henry, and we talked Star Wars. We didn't talk Marvel. I used to sit up in my bed or when I was younger, like middle school wise, I had like I had a space in our house where there's a crawl space in our house. It was like connected to my closet though, but I would go in there and I had my BP comics set up, all my comics and stuff set up in there, and I had like a lamp, the typical 90s cliche Disney Channel shit. Yeah. And I would just read my BP comics, bro, and it's like learning you've taken that was solidified that scene solidified T'Challa's gone. And then it also made me have to relive Chadwick's death. By that time, I was already done. As I told you guys before we even went into the film, I saw the mid-credit scene before, so I didn't have to see the fucking film. And then after that scene, I really didn't have to see any more of the movie. That was ridiculous. That was so crazy to me, and it was a emotional roller coaster the entire time. From going to feeling sad to being pissed the fuck off to then being just completely done. And I heard you guys saying before I'm maybe this is just my feelings right now. It could be my feelings right now. But you guys said, ready for Quantumania. I'm good on Marvel. You took me in a completely different space last night. When I go to see films, as I've said before, when I sit down in a fantasy film, I don't ever want to feel the way I felt last night again. I don't ever want to feel that again. I don't need you to teach me about grief. I've said that. You tried to teach us about grief in what way? Like what did you teach me there? I didn't learn shit in that.
No.
I didn't learn anything in that.
No lesson.
So I got triggered.
No, yeah, you watched a very sad story about a very broken people going through more shit constantly throughout a movie. There was, I don't know. I mean, it had its uplifting moments, and it was pretty dark. And that opening scene was just ridiculously ballsy to me. And what I mean by that is it I don't know, like, I read the spoilers with everybody. I knew it was coming, but it's different seeing it in the moment. And I'm like, oh, it's immediately happening.
They got right into
like, you're getting right into him dying. And by the time I registered that, it started the very long funeral scene, right?
Yeah.
And I wasn't in it. It caught me so off guard so fast, it didn't emotionally suck me into it. And I was like, oh, they're doing this.
Yeah.
I looked at you at one point and was like, this scene is still going.
Yeah.
Like, this is, I mean, using his face, and I mean, it was very, what I meant by
it was traumatic.
Is it would either really hurt you, or me, I don't know, I'm weird with grief maybe, but it didn't suck me in. Instead, I was kind of put off to it. I was like, that morbid conversation we would have, right? I mean, it just hit me. I was like, oh my, like, they're just playing on this man's death.
It's like I said, I didn't need you to morbidly shove a funeral down in my face,
right,
and that's what it was. Right. It was so.
And it messed with me too, because I understand what they were doing though, because there was many people. When I felt the most awkward during that is there were people that sat around us that were like really getting, and I was like, oh my gosh, like. But like in a positive way, they were like this. I don't know. It was the claps at the end, this and that. They were in it. They enjoyed it, and I was like, "Y'all, what is going on, man?"
Yeah, like this was not a movie.
It just didn't hit for me.
I mean, you
and
are free
the whole
to.
Time, I was
you
like,
are free.
damn.
This is what I wanted to say too. To that fact, excuse me. People clapping at the end. You're free to feel.
Yeah, no.
However you want to feel about this film.
I'm not condemning them for doing that, but I'm saying, in the moment when you're like very displeased about something. And everyone has a complete opposite reaction. That's when I felt weird. I was like, what is going on? I mean, I don't care if they were. It took me out. I feel the whole opposite way.
The rest of the theater who didn't know that we were plants. I felt like an Inglourious Bastards. Like I had the fucking TNT strapped to my ankles, and I was like,
yeah.
I was felt surrounded.
I mean,
by
so
TNT in a way.
Are we only talking about the first opening scene right now?
If
I were to say say one thing, when we. First things first, this is one of the quietest Marvel movies I have ever watched. The theater we were in didn't... I mean, I don't know if the movie was so sad they felt like they couldn't clap or they couldn't speak, but it's like nobody was... Even the good things that happened, it's not like they could cheer for it. It's just because in the back of their mind, they started this movie with such a traumatic experience. But my issue with the first scene is how they... put on display how how much of a difficult time Shuri's going through to save her brother. Like, they're showing us that the Wakandas, or potentially the MCU's smartest character, cannot save her brother. And like how you said, she starts off praying to Bass and everything. So she's literally, like, she's knowing, like, she can't really do this. Like, that's so... Whatever sickness they put on T'Challa, they exaggerated it to the point where she couldn't... A prayer couldn't... Nothing could save him. And so that's the problem I had, where they had to... Because it's a chain of events in the movie they did with her to where they just gave her unnecessary trauma in order to give her a character arc.
That was the whole movie.
Yeah.
And so that was the first thing they did, in sense to even the AI not really telling, like, she had to come back and even ask ask the AI, like, so it's like, I don't know how how Ryan Coogler wrote that in terms of, like, I don't know if I want to display Chadwick or T'Challa's death here more, or I don't know if I'm trying to display the struggle that Shuri's going to start the movie with off more. Because that shit, like, I automatically, off the rip, I felt bad for her. Like,
Yeah.
because let's say you know anything about, like, even the first movie, like, that's A and B. Like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, A and B, C and D, like, they go together. And so she's, like, anything she's literally doing at this beginning, like, we've seen that she was smart enough to create the herb and everything. And so it's like, the fact that she wasn't smart enough to, even the medicine she came up with, the highest one she came to, the confidence rate on it was 52%. So she knew she wasn't going to save him. Like, and so I don't know, that was just one of the first issues I had with the movie. The fact that off rip, there was even not really a chance. There was a 50% chance to save him. From the MCU's smartest character.
Yeah.
And a character who's blessed and chosen by a god.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
it bothered me. You know, this whole time they've been talking about how they want it to be real and to be brought in. That was too real for me. It was, honestly, it was really triggering with things I've been through. And I felt like Shuri. And that prayer fucked me up. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah.
Like, it wasn't even about the movie anymore, though. And I knew that going in.
and that's what they wanted. That's what they wanted.
And I didn't want
that's what
that.
they wanted.
And I know I'm not the only person who watched that movie and was thinking about someone besides T'Challa.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, and that's what they're saying about the whole teaching you grief and stuff.
And it's
you know
like,
what
I don't need to be taught.
Yeah.
You didn't teach me shit. You reminded me. You
Right.
brought shit back up.
Right.
And I didn't appreciate it. And like you were saying, that's not what we go to this shit for.
Right.
Since I was a kid, I've been able to find joy and happiness in these characters that we all love.
Yeah.
And what they did, I don't know how they can say they were friends of his, and they wrote that and put through production. And
Because it was hard, bro.
because it was hard. For me. Hearing the heartbeats, that was too real. It dropping, too real.
Yeah.
Praying.
It was tough.
Praying.
The funeral
praying to
scene,
a God
like,
and begging.
the funeral scene was not even them acting. Like, I felt like that was all
Like,
just them
yeah.
emotionally distressed
Yeah.
and their actual emotions on their face of, like, okay, well, this is T'Challa / Chadwick's funeral, and then there's when they zoom in on him on the mural and everything, and then they zoom in again,
Yes.
and then they're zooming in on everyone's face. It's just, I don't
Well,
know.
how about
Right,
after he
right.
dies, there's 45 seconds,
Where's
a
that?
minute of silence
Hand me that,
with
Trey.
just like whistling
Yep.
wind.
Yeah.
And then just a bunch of... So they put us through my heart was racing
Yeah.
throughout that scene, that opening scene, and then it's just silence and you hear like a whistling wind. It was so unsettling.
It was very.
It just felt so dark and morbid, and it felt so... It didn't feel like honoring, like they've been saying this whole time, and we've been saying that this is not the way to honor. It did not feel
Right.
like honoring his death. It really felt like prophetizing off of his death. It felt like poking at emotions. They used this man, this important, iconic man, they used his death in a way that I did not appreciate at all. It honestly
Right.
pissed me off.
Right, and I
The
mean,
way
it
they
was
did
also
that.
just the way they jumped in, right? Because you can
Just
kill a
like
character in a movie, and it.
Mhm.
I'm not thinking. I mean, I'm thinking about that character because I have a backstory of what's been building up to this, and that's what I'm thinking about, not about my real life or my this and that.
Right.
But when you step into a film, and not a character in a movie. This real life person died. You're drawing on it right when the movie opens.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't have any back filler of what this movie was about to make me emotional about these characters. I'm emotional about the real life shit.
Yes.
And then you think about people you care about, and then it just makes it worse. Like, it was just like I said from the very beginning, a really ballsy way to jump into a movie.
Yeah.
Really ballsy way.
It was like getting hit by a semi-truck right when the lights are on.
They set a tone. I didn't like the tone they set.
Yeah, the
set
tone
out
was
the jump.
super uncomfortable. I think the whole thing was super uncomfortable. For me, what lives literally rent-free in my head is like the funeral part where they have them carry the casket. I think for me, as a human being, I would be like, you cannot pay me enough money to sit here and film me carry a casket.
Yeah. Well, not only that, one of the things with me was in that entire scene. Sorry, man, fuck. 'Cause I said I didn't want to get on here and do this. So forgive me.
Obviously, that's how you know it was.
No need, man. You care.
Yeah.
Like,
And that scene was intense.
It was
But I'm sorry. It's not just. It's not the movie. It's the realisms, bro. Like I said, I just lost one of my boys again. I've lost two basketball players. Whew. Excuse me. I apologize, chat.
It's okay. No, I understand. I'm right there with you, man.
Because I didn't want to do that, so I apologize. But I just lost one of my boys. And that entire scene was so triggering.
Yeah.
So, that's why I couldn't do anything after the film. I didn't want to. Because that entire time I'm thinking to myself, now I have to get into a Marvel film? Now I have to get into an action film? After you've just, before the Marvel crawl just ripped. We've talked about it for months, yes. And it's like I said with the mid-credit scene. It's different when you see it.
Yeah.
So, for everybody that says, no T'Challa, no ticket, if you don't want to be triggered, if you've been going through grief in general, stay home.
Yeah. I agree.
Stay home. Because I could have.
Yeah.
I didn't need that.
I could have.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
could have done without that last night.
It's not just that opening scene either. Like, that's a thing. They mentioned, and we knew going into this, they said that they would, at one point, pay respect to him in the movie, right? And it's like, okay, at one point. The whole end of the movie is pictures of the man. I mean, is a montage of the man.
Yeah.
Multiple times he is brought up and talked about and grieved about in different ways. Throughout the entire movie, they didn't just honor the man at one point in the movie and pass the torch. This whole movie, you can't just like, I'm just saying, you can't just show up late. You can't just show up, miss the first scene, and not have to worry about it anymore. I mean, they play on it the entire movie. It's the point of the movie.
Yeah.
They started off with a moment of silence. They ended with a moment of silence. It was constantly mentioned.
Right.
I think what was really frustrating too was I felt like there was just a scene where there was every other sentence that was, oh well, T'Challa's dead, and it was just like, it's like you want to just
it's like, I get
shove
it. Yeah.
in my brain, like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
They literally
and
said
like,
the king
is
is
he
dead
though?
about 7 times.
Wakanda's lost his protector. They bring it so many times, but it's like
Wakanda.
you don't even get a reprieve from that, because when they're not talking about T'Challa, they're talking about either their dead parents or their
There were so many tropes throughout the entire. Riri Williams' dad is dead. We're talking about T'Challa's death the entire time.
And I know it's not a joke, but I literally keep calling it, like, half the movie is sad Wakanda. Because it's whatever it is someone in Wakanda dealing with grief the entire time. It's like the flip side of this movie, everything with, and we can get into it later, but with Namor, because I want to talk about I at least liked that part. But anytime we went to anything Wakanda related, it was just sad Wakanda. Someone's going to deal with some grief or talk about dead parents or...
Excuse me.
Like,
it was
ridiculous. They did not let off the fucking gas pedal with
they
it.
weren't presented
other than
as the
Ross.
most
Other than
powerful
the
nation
extra
in the
third
world.
of the movie, which was Ross.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Did anyone think that they looked like the most powerful nation in the world last night?
You know, that's what I was going to say, too.
Not how they were represented.
Wakanda was completely dumbed down.
Yes.
The entire advertisement of Wakanda, or Wakanda Forever, was we're going to explore Wakanda more, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. We didn't do any of that in Wakanda. We didn't. There was nothing new. There was no new places that we were in within Wakanda. And, you know, and I want to clarify something, too. Because I do see the chat going. I do want to clarify something, too. Make no mistake. For Key Toothman. Make no mistake. I understand what movies are supposed to make us feel. I understand. No, I'm not going to go with that. I understand that when you go into movies and things that you're supposed to, it's art. It's an art form. You are supposed to feel something from that. But when I sit down in a fictional film, the difference is, I've been seeing people use the WandaVision comparisons that we've been going that Phase 4 is built around grief because of WandaVision. Don't fucking insult my intelligence. That's a different type of grief.
Yeah.
That in WandaVision, that's different. Using Falcon and the Winter Soldier, using Eternals, using Black Widow. That's a different type of grief. Because when I left
fantasy grief.
When I left the film, I understood Scarlett Johansson was still alive. She wasn't thrown off the cliff by a purple man.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or by sacrifice. So don't insult my intelligence by coming in here saying that maybe movies aren't for us. Maybe movies aren't for you. No, I get it. I know what it is. But when you're taking someone's real life and you are putting that on screen and you are exploiting his death on screen,
It's weird.
that first scene, if anybody is going through any type of grief, don't just forget the movie. That entire scene, if you're going through grief of any type, you've lost somebody or anything like that, that's what you're feeling. It's not even about the movie. They're not making it about the movie at that point.
No.
They are making it real as possible. And I don't want to go sit down and see tropes from my real community in a fantasy fucking film. So don't ever come in my fucking chat and try to tell me how I'm supposed to feel about a movie that I've just watched. Unless you've said, no, you only see what I allow of you to see of me on YouTube. You don't know my bad. You don't know anything of me off camera. So you don't know what I'm going through personally. You don't know who I've lost or whatever my story may be. You know what I allow for you to know. So don't tell me how to feel when I've just watched something that was triggering for me in my own personal life. And if that's a problem for you, maybe this channel's not for you. If anybody else has anything they want to say, please speak up. Now you can continue.
No, I'm right there with you, Darius. I relate. Like, I know I shared with you, similar recent thing, and I 100% felt what you felt in that theater, and it was hard, and it was that I don't want to go to a Marvel movie and be reminded of that.
There
Right.
was times where there was battle scenes, and I would catch myself like tearing up and like almost crying. And I'm like, this is a battle scene? Why?
Yeah.
Because I'm just triggered at this point. Like, and I didn't like how it was just nation versus nation. You have a black nation versus a Hispanic nation versus a white nation. It was just like, this is too much. Like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
Like, this is not a Marvel movie. I don't know what this is, but this is not what. This is not what Stanley would have wrote. He would have not approved this. I don't like this.
And there was no. And then let's move on to the funeral part, and then we're going to move on to the next part. The funeral part of this. There was no. At Tony's funeral, you had all these heroes there.
Yeah.
Nobody was at T'Challa's funeral.
He was a world leader.
That's what I'm saying. That nobody was there.
The United States wouldn't be there. You tell me the fucking
Falcon, Cap wasn't there.
Yeah.
They made a whole ass suit
Any
for
of
him and
these
his own grief. Everybody wants to throw
Sebastian
grief into
wasn't there.
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Bucky wasn't there.
Literally.
Isaiah Bradley wasn't there. I mean, if you want to, in the comics, when him and Storm got married, every black hero, every hero was there.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that you're taking them off the screen, but nobody was there.
Right. Right.
And again, just the entire thing was rushed. It was. Let's get to the point.
Yes.
Let's make you feel this, and let's move on to the next point of the film or whatever.
Right.
Oh, but then don't forget, because we're just gonna keep just here you go, dropping
Oh,
it
and-
in on you.
Oh, and that's not going to be the only death either.
No,
Right.
no.
That's not the only
Yeah.
loss that
Oh.
Shuri's going to have to go through and
Right.
deal with.
So are
Right.
we going scene by scene, or are we just listing?
But we can just list. That's fine. Since we just jumped onto that part with Suri and motivation. You know, I don't understand why in each film we have to be motivated by death.
Death, yes.
Like, why are we
yes.
motivated by? Why does that have to be the motivating plot line in every single time? You know, anytime something's involved with Black Panther, it's the plot line here in the
100%.
MCU, and it's motivation by. I mean, we saw it in Civil War with his introduction.
Yeah.
Although he didn't let vengeance consume him, what motivated him in that entire arc in that film, or that entire storyline for him in that film, was the death of his father. What motivated Killmonger? The death of his father.
Yeah.
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 What motivated Shuri? The death of her mother, which was absolutely ridiculous. Again,
Oh, that whole scene stressed me.
like I'm thinking,
stressed me out because I
you
was
know,
sitting next to you.
well, I was thinking to myself after that first scene, I was thinking, damn, okay, we got that out the way.
Yeah.
Even though it took me completely out, I was like, we got that out the way. So we're not going to see any more crazy death. Then what did we see?
Oh, Lord.
Another death scene, which again in the plot leaks or whatever, but it's different seeing it.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, and I had said when we talked about it, I said, if they kill the Queen Mother, I'm gonna walk out.
Yeah. Yeah. You told me that.
Yeah.
And when they killed her, and you're watching Suri cry for her mother, and Okoye's crying while they're trying to resuscitate her. They got the Komoyo beads on her, and they're trying to resuscitate her, and got the music going, and Suri in the background crying. I'm just like, bro, this is what, like, for anybody that thought to themselves that this is beautiful, I don't find Black Death fascinating nor fun.
And
I
I'm jumping
don't.
ahead, but it wasn't her mom. It wasn't her mom, but it's Killmonger.
Right,
Are
yeah.
you shitting me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking Killmonger. Like, I get that
Out of all-
they weren't gonna CGI in her brother or do anything like that, but her mom had just it's not her fucking mom. It's literally Killmonger.
Well, I mean, okay, to that point, I will
I
say
get they were trying to do
that
the
made
thing, but
it made more sense to me seeing it. Well, I mean, we all know it should have been T'Challa if it would have been anybody, but they weren't
yeah,
doing it.
but
We
they
knew they
gonna
weren't,
do
right?
that.
But
you
I mean,
think
at
her
least to
mom-
their own narrative, her going through the grief, wanting to basically kill Namor at that point, right? Get revenge.
Oh, go ahead. Keep going.
It made sense for the vengeful anger she saw Killmonger, I guess. So there was at least plot that made sense for what the movie was trying to say.
Yeah.
And then her mom comes in and
I just
talks to
didn't
her,
personally
but
like it.
I didn't either.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just it at least
It just
made
felt unnecessary.
going into this movie. We were like, why the fuck is it Killmonger? There is a why. I'll at least give them that. There is a why that makes sense for the story they told.
No, yeah.
It's
If
just
it's the
seemed like
route you're
an
going,
unnecessary-
with it.
So at least it made sense in the movie. But I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all.
I didn't like it either.
I don't know.
Like it just felt
It felt
inorganic from the
unnecessary.
first movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's all it was. Like, and that's what I was gonna say. Like, if you were to watch this movie after knowing where T'Challa, or even because he was seen in Endgame and Infinity War, but just after watching Black Panther 1, there's absolutely no correlation to it. Like,
Yeah, no.
absolutely zero. And so while we're on the death scene and everything, I mean, I feel like at that point it's like they're trying to make these scenes relatable to everybody, because that's really what got me. Because before we came and streamed over here one day, I told y'all that like my mom had her fire at the apartment and everything, and so like when she called me, I thought like that was it. And so bringing that up, watching the movie, I saw that happen and everything. So during the rest of the movie, I'm just sitting there like she just lost her mom.
That's what I'm
thinking
saying,
about what if I
man.
lost
That's
my
what
mom,
I'm-
because
that's
I
what I'm
remember the
saying.
phone call I had with my mom a couple weeks ago, and then I'm remembering all the last times I've talked to all the people that I've loved that are gone now.
That is what I'm
and
saying.
So it's like, I don't know if not everyone goes through life experiencing a lot of death with close ones or everything, but it's like some people do. Unfortunately, I've been one of those people, and it's like not even family, but it's like family, friends, people I go to school with and see every day that told me, I hope you play good in your game today. People who came to my parents' friends. It's just like everything in that it gets brought up in certain moments and everything, and that was just one of the times where I was sitting there like, I don't know why they're doing this. Like, I don't know why I don't see why they're trying to dig the knife so deep. Like, it's like, first it's the real death that they've put into the movie, and then they've completely made this one up. Like, I don't know why that had to happen. If she wanted out of the movie, I don't know why she had to be drowned. But the fact that, like, she was drowned, and then, like, I almost lost my mom to a fire and everything. Like, so it's just like, I don't know. That brought up a lot for me in that moment, and I was just
see,
like,
that's the point. That's the point that I'm making with the opening scene and my feelings, and even my, like I said, I didn't even want to get on live because and feel and cry and feel that way or whatever, but that's what I mean. People deal with real life stuff. I'm going to take it back to the Jeffrey Dahmer stuff. You had those families that were crying out, that were visibly upset, audibly upset, coming out saying, why are we having to drug back up our trauma for your entertainment? Why are we having to do this for your entertainment? So it's not the fact of, oh, y'all are being sensitive or, oh, this. No, it's we as human beings are dealing with real life situations. Because if you say that we are being sensitive in the way that, well, I'm not going to say we are, because I'm being sensitive in the way that I feel. I could say I mean that you could put that same sentiment toward the cast and the crew for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, because their feelings is what transformed this entire film to begin with.
Right.
So no feelings like that stuff right there, that bro, like I said, it's triggering. Like it's just like it was weird. So
yeah, and there like another thing I want to say is like because you brought up the WandaVision stuff and all that, and there is like a big difference between real life trauma.
Like, don't insult me.
I can separate a fictional character losing her robotic wife and killing people because she has trauma of wanting to meet her unbirthed children from a different dimension. Or I can understand that, and I can even be sad for that trauma because I understand what she's going through. But to apply something so real to a story where you had so many more like roads and so many paths that you could have took, so much more time you could have took to to put on paper a story so real to almost every. I don't know how. I mean, I like I always say, I hate to relate everything racially, but that movie can relate to almost every black person I know. Whether it's the first black person I'll find in my phone, I'll be like, I know their dad or mom's gone, bro, they've lost a brother, something like that. So it's just sad that I know that this movie can real life relate to so many people and just cause that emotional distress of just wanting to go see a Marvel film. Like if this was based on a true story. Okay, but a Marvel fictional film where I want to go watch people fly around and fucking
that's what I'm saying.
Rip shit
that's
apart
why I made
and throw
the
helicopters and pick cars
like
up and rip them apart
Infinity
and smash
War
them.
and Endgame. Like people saying even in that we grieve. So again, don't insult my intelligence. That's a different type of like. I left that movie like, oh, the stakes are high. That's what I like. Don't try to mix the two.
Those
When I
scenes
are not the same. When I left Infinity War, when I left Infinity War and I saw the post-credit scene with Nick Fury and Captain Marvel, I'm like, oh shit, the stakes are high. You see, the film literally ends with the sun setting on Thanos, and you're like, oh shit, this is that was different.
Yeah.
So don't try to tell me, oh, we've been grieving in Marvel. Nah, bro. Not like, nah. Yeah. This right here, that's real.
Right. Well, no, and I feel like it's just lazy, too. Whenever you bring what they did here, and then, you brought up the Dahmer series. It's not the Dahmer series anymore. They got a season 2, and they're going to do every single killer. And it's
I saw that.
So you don't care about people talking about, how this is fucked up, we're reliving this, right? But you double down on it for money. I feel like it's, I want to call it lazy in the sense that, like, you can't make a movie that makes me feel raw emotion unless you pull on my real life shit, right? And what I mean by real life shit isn't, oh, I've been through what that fictional character went through. It is, oh, he died. And we're seeing it here, morbidly displayed. It's just a lazy way to get the most emotional reaction out of somebody. And to me, that's just, again, I feel like it's just lazy. You can't make it. There are plenty of before the movie started, the preview, Avatar, dude, I felt some shit watching that trailer. It was good emotions. It was
I think I said wow about 1,000 times.
It was bewilderment,
it
seeing
was
them
amazing.
having kids. It was very, like, I just had a kid. There was, like, happy, amazing emotions of a fantasy fucking story, right? That is not based in my reality.
There you
that
go.
movie was, which they put effort in and told a story that makes me go, oh my God, right?
Right.
Instead, you're like, oh, we're just going to get an emotional reaction by hitting them with a real man's death. Like,
right.
It's lazy. And it's predatory in the sense of we're going to get... And because everyone in that theater, again, I'm not blaming everyone that clapped and this and that and la-da-da, but you made it to where anybody that speaks out... There's been tons of people in, like, Recast T'Challa movement that people who don't know or anti-recast, they're like, I don't know, they make it personal, they make it about Chadwick, the whole argument is, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to feel this kind of way, there's no arguing away from that emotion, and like...
You're not allowed to.
Yeah, it's just lazy to me, and I feel like that's all it is preying on people.
Well, bro, we just got through COVID.
I was just about to say
We just got through COVID. I'm not the only person who's lost someone on a ventilator.
Yeah.
But that opening scene...
With the heartbeat
with
and
the plummeting, I'm telling you, as somebody who's experienced and having to do it through FaceTime, losing someone like that.
Yeah,
and and so many people lost loved ones because of COVID.
Yeah,
and they're sitting there feeling that because that heart rate and all that, it's
a lot.
That's not why I love Spider-Man and Black Panther and the Hulk and Wolverine. It's not why. Now, do they have relatable stories and they experience trauma? Yes. But, like, even in fact, Gwen Stacy, her death, do you know Stan Lee was pissed when he came back from vacation from France because the writers did that without his approval? His plans were for them to get married. He was pissed off by that shit when they killed Gwen Stacy. But, like, I understand. Marvel, when it's talking about real life things, there's real life problems. There's real life things that characters go through, and there's death. I understand that. We've experienced death in these movies.
Right.
That opening scene was not the same.
The whole movie was not
the whole movie. The entire tone was nothing but grief. We're just gonna... The whole movie was, let's just fucking keep on bashing Wakanda in the face with a frying pan, and let's make these people who are supposed to be the top tier, make them appear weak. Make them appear like their families are always getting taken out, like they just have these problems, they can't keep things together. Instead of what Stan Lee and Jack Kirby intended, which was to exemplify excellence within a black community in Africa, untouched by the colonizers like me and Trey. But
no, it's like when you jump into let's move now, jump into that making Wakanda look weak. You would think, after everything we've seen Wakanda go through, just in the events of the Infinity Saga, when Wakanda got drug into the Infinity Saga, you would think that just like everyone after that event would start to take different safety precautions just in case. I mean, we even see it in the comics. Why was the Illuminati even formed? So that never happened again.
Good point.
So you would think that people would be taking certain safety precautions to, like, okay, in case there's ever another threat like that, we can't have Wakanda breached so easily. Namor just straight walked the fuck in.
Yeah, he surely did.
And there's no security. Like even if he did break through something or whatever, like there was in that scene when he shows up on the shore with them. Like, why did no Doras or any security? You're telling me the most technologically advanced nation in the world, bro, just walks the fuck in and it's like, oh, this is so beautiful.
And
like
then,
all the stories.
Killed both of them right there.
Yeah,
like that.
That's what I'm saying. That and then bro, you just dumbed Wakanda completely all the way, but your advertisement the whole time was we're going to dive into the world of Wakanda and that's not what we did.
Bad decision makers. They just made bad decision after bad decision.
Well,
they were
why is Wakanda even special in the MCU anymore besides vibranium?
Yeah, and apparently not even anymore because it's in the ocean too.
Yeah.
So they're not. Man, I don't know.
that part of the movie either. How they made
It was-
seem like
so-
it was just so easily. Oh, there was another
Yeah.
comet, and like now we have this whole underworld, and we've been living on it. And it's like, okay, whoa! You took the one thing that made this whole country top tier, just to be available to.
Like just how easily he entered the nation was wild to me.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
Right.
it's like wow.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Now,
For
there
the
was-
rest of the
he
whole
did.
movie, it's like you will not
That's the one
see
thing that was cool.
one of them without one of the doors with them, right? And they make it a point of like
Yeah.
they're on them constantly. You know, Ramonda and Suri, they literally just have to speak, and someone is always there, right? No matter what. But like the most important point, the most important time, and he literally just rattlesnakes his way up
Yeah.
out of the water.
Flatters his little wings.
And like I can't say, because while that scene was infuriating for that reason, that scene, to anything Namor was in, I was game.
And that's what I'm saying.
So
Namor
he
was great. Namor was
commanded-
great.
Yeah.
The screen. He's the only, for me, because when you said you will not watch it again, right?
I'll rewatch
The
scenes
only
of Namor.
thing that I will rewatch in this movie is scenes of Namor repeatedly, because that
Exactly.
dude nailed that
Yeah.
role.
I'll wait to
Like,
see him in the
same
next
thing.
project.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see more of him,
Yeah.
but
He was
that,
great.
but this, it was kind of weird though, because this movie was very, it was like cut into three. It was Ross, Sad Wakanda, everything badass about Namor.
But see, that's why I'm
Like-
saying that I don't like that. Like,
Yeah.
why do we even have why was Ross even a plot point?
I don't know.
Like, I get him being in it, all that makes sense. But the fact that we were spending so much time with Ross, it was lazy writing. It was like you had to rewrite. I'm sure what was already a great script. You had to rewrite that. I know it was a great script because you wrote it with Chad, and we know what Chad wanted. You rewrote that, and then you had to fill in all these holes to fill in time. That's why, that one reviewer that said Wakanda Forever goes forever. It did go forever. I was like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking
it's
at my phone
moving.
at one point, like, holy shit, she's not even the Black Panther yet. Like,
Yeah, and-
oh my
Yeah,
God.
honestly.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! I was
And-
like, we're like an hour and a half in, folks.
and like I don't know, man. I just like, to me, I keep saying Marvel's never gonna get a battle scene right, but during the invasion of Wakanda, they got their ass whooped by like 12 guys.
that's what I'm saying. Did you learn anything new
No,
about
I'm
Wakanda?
no,
though?
I'm saying by like 12 fucking
Yes, that's
guys.
what I'm saying.
That's the only thing we learned is that apparently that's all it takes to
Yeah.
take
The most powerful nation in the world.
Nation in the world.
I'm gonna throw some water
Most
at you, and me and
technologically
And all the
four dudes over
tribes.
here are gonna whoop the fuck out of your
Yeah.
entire nation.
Like all the
Dude,
tribes
Smurf
too.
And Smurfette gonna whoop
Like when we're in the council, we're seeing the council and Wakanda and everything like that. All the tribes that are there. You would think, since we're supposed to be learning more about Wakanda, you would think that we're dealing with Namor. Namor and his people live underwater. I don't know, maybe dive deeper and learn more about the River Tribe. I don't know. They deal with water. That's Nakia's people.
right.
That's what I mean when I say how lazy it was.
Wakanda's
Yeah.
Navy.
That you did. That's what I'm saying. How small Wakanda's armies even look. Like when
honestly-
when
That's
they were
another-
about to go, when they were gearing up to go fight Namor, I was like,
Yeah.
is that it? Because if that's what
Yeah.
that's
They
what you're
got
taking.
the Dora
That was like some
Milaje, the
revolutionary
Jabari
war shit.
tribe, and then a select handful of others.
Yeah,
That
there
was
Right.
only like
the-
3 or 4
there's
tribes
the
I
that's
really saw.
dead ass
Like,
the
where is
Dora
everybody
Milaje,
at?
Jabari tribe, and a couple others.
I'm
Like,
sorry,
they
but
didn't,
there was
like in the last movie they had pet rhinos and shit and
Yeah.
everything, but
Like-
this
I'm
movie,
like, we're the
Yeah.
From
Yeah,
the
we're
border
all
tribe,
right,
like there was no,
yeah.
there was like even from the Jabari, like, and the whole Winston Duke being in the film so much more than he was in the first.
Hell no.
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 Don't
I
believe
think
that.
ain't even a.
He's not. He's not even important.
I wouldn't even consider
the
him
only
like
thing he did
Gorilla
was tell
God or
us
I mean,
who
that's-
Namor
yeah,
was.
That's
Cool,
not
cool
Gorilla
guy.
God or
That's it.
Man
Most
Ape.
of the
That's
screen
just
time he was eating a
M'Baku.
carrot.
Like,
he was either eating a carrot or he was telling Shuri to
Like-
he was trying to help
Yeah.
her get through some shit. I guess.
Deadass,
but-
nothing
yeah.
about comic M'Baku or even
Or
Gorilla,
taking
Gorilla
body
God
shots.
or Man
He was in
Ape
that
this,
body
Man
shot.
Ape
Yeah.
that. That
I mean,
nigga
I'll
got
say,
the
like-
shit punched out of him. You would think M'Baku is a fly in that movie. Like,
It was his screen
Right.
time was just his for everyone that continues to say there's so much black representation. His screen time fits in with the screen time of the rest of the black actors, that 14 to 15 to 17-minute mark. Like there's nothing.
and another like
There was
I just-
nothing that he did that was like, oh man.
and it was
M'Baku.
lazy for them to for Namor to flood the capital as if there's no surrounding cities outside of Wakanda or anything. Like there's no like he just instantly flooded the capital, like the center of Wakanda.
Yeah.
And so like no, they didn't display any of, like you said, Wakanda Forever.
Right.
They were supposed to take a journey around Wakanda. They
They
didn't display any other cities, tribes, nothing like that. It was just, let's just show you how much we're about to fuck up the main city of Wakanda.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's show you we're gonna fuck up the queen.
Right.
They
The
fled-
King's gone. Let's show you we're gonna
they,
fuck up the
fled
queen.
The city.
Right. Well, that's like when Namor makes that badass comment about the I have more soldiers than your country has blades of grass. It looked like it. He had a lot of fucking people, right? But
Dude,
in
hell, he had
Wakanda,
more- he
it's
had more
like
killer whales than they had soldiers.
I know, but in Wakanda, it's like, hey, so we've got there's a bus. There's that one bus with some people.
Yeah.
Here's the people on this one street, right? That's just supposed to show you a.
It showed
black
you that
child almost
intersection.
dying,
That's all.
right?
That's
Like,
all we saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Was that intersection? That's
right.
it.
And so and again, Namor strodes in with like 12 fucking dudes. I know there's more, but I mean, barely. It wasn't anything, and it just fucks up Wakanda. Like, everything.
Yeah,
It
and like
just
the, and
seems
during
like
that.
Wakanda's a really quick, like, on the safari tour, on the zoo tour, it's like, oh, and here's Wakanda, and then it's like this small, tiny nation.
Well, and then
just
within all that, when he attacks, we learn in the scene prior to that when he's having the conversation, and we skip that. I mean, because it's really underwhelming, in my opinion. And I'm not trying to shit on the film, but in my opinion, Talokan was underwhelming. It wasn't what I was expecting it to be or look like. Now the scene again, I do. There were scenes with Namor that I did like the scene where he was addressing his people, saying that we are going to war, when he was descending down to the
Shark.
the shark mouth. I was like, this is dope. That's dope. That's cool.
Right.
The thing he did with the spear that was dope. Yeah. But I was like, so he told you he was going to attack Wakanda if Wakanda, said that they weren't going to help fight the surface world.
Right.
And knowing that he was coming, knowing that because Suri said, if we don't save her, this is gonna mean war with the girl dying.
Right.
Knowing that, the queen is just unprotected the entire time.
Yep.
Namor's out there. The queen's no doors around her.
Yeah.
Let me sit here with the main person Namor's trying to kill.
She's standing
I
there.
can do something about it.
She's standing there with Riri, and they're just, and standing in the throne room in the big glass, just watching everything. Why is she not like in a bunker somewhere? Why is she not like being protected? Why is she? This is what I mean when I say
the
the
tunnels
lazy
that they took
writing.
the first time when they were running off to the Jabari tribe. The tunnels
Lazy
or something
writing.
like that.
Even if she wasn't under threat, like, when would the queen be fucking alone?
Right. That's what
like,
I'm saying.
Super crisis.
Well,
get the president in the bunker in that situation.
Yeah, and
Crazy.
I didn't think it didn't make sense to me where Namor's shown his power to them, right? I mean, he's made it clear what's going to happen if they don't bring the scientist. And they're like, all right, the general and the princess. Go to where, this lady they all want to kill. That sounds like a great idea to put the princess of our country going to get this person instead of 10, doors just walking up like we're going now. Like treating it like a real threat. They toyed with it. It's like, why would you do that, right? This is an asset. You're a country. This is where the ruling Wakanda comes in, right? This is where taking it seriously happens where, oh, you're the target. We're sending 15 of our best. Snatch them out. It's a serious deal. Well, it would be the Black Panther if this was actually it made sense, right? But everything just seems so. Wakanda was taking everything so silly, other than the very beginning where they catch the French operatives.
Yeah, I was about to say they make the Wakanda soldiers look real strong against just normal human beings, like just normal niggas infiltrating their systems and everything. But let them be facing.
Well, I thought
Talacoans, and they need to upgrade almost all their armor. Like when they introduce like the what's the suit called? The Midnight Angels and everything. That's they come on.
Yeah,
like not them motherfuckers are clean too. Like that motherfuckers are so clean to me. But to say that like the Dora Milaje and then needed all that to deal with just basic ass Talcon soldiers and everything. It's just like they made him look weak.
No, that whole scene, they never looked weaker than on that boat in the end, right? So they have the ship made.
When they're down to the 3 of them,
right? Yeah. Well, that, but like,
and they're just getting
what you see
walked
is
off
the
the
most
plank.
advanced nation, right? And the whole time, I kept getting confused because they know how strong Namor is, right? And for those of you who haven't seen this movie, he's fucking terrifying. Yeah. Every scene with him is amazing. Yeah. Dude is, I'm looking forward to seeing him in more things in the MCU for sure. Yeah. But like, they're all on the boat. He grabs the helicopter and throws it on top of the boat where they're all standing, and they all go, ah!
Does anyone want to answer why the motherfuckers went to fight him in the middle of the ocean?
I know.
Why are we waging war on Namor in the middle of the...
Yeah, and then she gets him in a jet in the fighter, or in their one of their aircraft that has. She's trying to dry him out.
Microwaves.
And I was like, damn, that's kind of smart, right? They got him in some reinforced thing. All he does is hit the fucking ground, and they're like, "Oh, he's gonna break the ship."
Going off of that,
he can.
And they're just standing.
This motherfucker is introduced grabbing a helicopter and spinning it like a fucking yo-yo, right? Precision aiming, throwing the thing. They show how powerful he is, and it's like you didn't think he could break out of the same thing
before
he's
you
been
keep
throwing.
going. This isn't just a helicopter that's sitting there. This motherfucking helicopter is flying away. At least the one in the beginning that he gets at first when they're introducing him. This helicopter is flying away as well, like 10, 15 seconds away from what they were doing, and then it's like, hold up, we've stopped. We're being dragged back. So they very well displayed how strong that motherfucking Namor is, and which is completely okay. But like, I just don't see why they had to elevate how they showed how strong one person is, not even his whole country, but one person is, and they made a whole country look so weak. And it's just, I don't know why they gave all the representation and everything. And I mean, like, I'm not mad at it. It's like, I never had a problem with like anyone being represented, but it's like, I just don't see why they had to dumb one side down to do that.
I just don't care.
And like, even the scene where they're going off and he's telling his history and everything, and they show like that he's a kid and he shows up on the slave camp and everything, too relatable. Like, I don't know why they had to show that little 3-5 second scene of the people getting whipped and just to show in the end it gets set on fire. Like, they could have just showed that they were slaved. They could have just showed that they were working, or but like, I just don't. So many unnecessary things.
Too, though, it was like, it basically looked like a rusty shanty town, and then they had one cool like building. Like when he said to Shuri, he was like, "Now you see." I took you here so you can see what I have to protect. I'm like, rusty pipes? Like, what are you protecting? Like, it...
Yeah.
That is true,
They made the people cool, but it was like...
Right.
These people are living in, like, tents on, like beams, and, like... I don't know. It was very strange. Like...
Yeah, and...
Like,
any scene with Namor, like I said, it was cool.
Yeah.
Like the things that him zipping through the air, that was all cool.
Right.
But it's like I'll see him in the next film.
Yeah.
I'll see him in the next one because it was like, bruh, I don't know, like I liked it. Don't get me wrong. I liked the fighting with Namor.
Yeah.
But I would have liked to had seen an adversary for him to go up against. I mean, because he's just wrecking through ships for the first 45 minutes of our first hour and 20 however minutes of the film.
Until the very
That's it. There's no one that he's going against, and that for me doesn't make it interesting.
And then what's crazy is even none of them was really fucking with Atuma either. Like, if I'm being so honest, like if he wanted, like, they protected Okoye and everything. If he wanted to, like, kill Riri, Shuri, and Okoye on that bridge, he could have. Like, that's how strong they made him look and everything. So it's just
and that's not wrong. In comics, Namor is that guy. Like, that's not wrong. But again, it's not fun when he's just wrecking through ships and shit.
Yeah.
There's nobody until the final fight scene. And that was still underwhelming.
Or even how, like, his side, like how Namora is the one who fucked up Wakanda's whole plan on this ship. How she goes to the bottom and sticks her spear through the boat. And like, it's just like they're displaying how even like his like main adversaries and everything are like smart and strong enough to like lead war and everything, but it just looks like.
But see, that's also on the other hand, like you built this ship, right? You're going to fight people who live underwater, and you put the button to the fucking Death Star under goddamn water?
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's this one spot that's exposed, and it happens to be at the very bottom of the
let's
ship.
not have
and we're fighting fucking basically
Atlanteans.
Atlanteans.
As soon as that shit,
And I really sat there like, hold on. And they're like, oh no, the ship lost power. And it's like,
Why would you
oh, where did you put the stop button? Under the boat? Damn, you know?
Yeah,
They have fucking whales coming with a net of those bomb things.
Yep.
Again, you're like literally leaving the land.
But I'm just tired of Marvel always doing, if you're the villain, I'm the hero.
Home court.
When we're gonna fight, everyone lines up like it's fucking... I don't know, man. Everyone get in the line. Is everyone good? Is the line ready? All right, y'all ready to charge? Because we're...
Yeah.
All right, yeah, we need to charge.
Yeah, like
okay.
Revolutionary War shit.
Yeah, and it's like I bitched about that in fucking Endgame. When with Wakanda, it's like when they show off kind of the technology and they're like, everyone just run with a spear.
But it's crazy because I'm gonna argue with it. Not even argue, but just I like the way that battle scene started, but like I don't know why they're in the ocean but their plan was to go to the ocean and use this subsonic sounds or whatever to get in their ears, whatever. So it's like I like the plan and everything, but it's just what they do after that to like how the Talacoans figure out, okay, this is their plan. Their plan sucks. They do whatever they do. And now the battle. But the way the battle started, it's like it had so much potential, and then like Marvel's like, nope.
Yeah,
Let's go ahead and throw this helicopter at them. Let's go ahead and walk Wakanda's 3. Like they had Okoye, the Dormilaje, and the Jabari tribe essentially walking the fucking plank.
Well, see, that's what
walking the plank.
The Jabari were holding on to the ropes.
That's what.
And it's like half your people.
Yeah, no,
like half your people are not fighting.
Even at that, like like that's what I'm saying. Their plan was to have the Dormilaje run off the side of the boat with the other half of their tribe holding that. It's just like, I mean, I've seen in the comments people saying lazy writing. It's not. I don't know if it's lazy. It's just simply not good. Like the writing for the movie was the writing. Like they produce vibranium. They can put vibranium on the rope. Drill it into the boat, boom. I'm a 20-year-old in Oklahoma who's never touched a movie, and that is a much more... It's shit writing. That's what it was. It's like, we had this whole plan, and now I'm going to make it about Chadwick Boseman. It's going to be so touching and so emotional, but everything else that correlates to the storyline of Black Panther 1 is going to be non-existent. Anything to continue the story is going to be non-existent, because I don't know what they're doing with the next movie. I don't know if I give a fuck what they're doing with the next movie. And before we went into this movie, I was one of the ones saying I know it's not comic accurate, but I don't mind if M'Baku is king, and I don't give a fuck what they do in the third movie simply because what is there for him to do? Like what is Wakanda left in?
Yeah,
it's flooded. Like they didn't even show them cleaning up Wakanda. It's just automatically boom to Haiti. It's like no pickups of Wakanda. Like we came to consensus with Namor and boom. Our Wakanda still looks like shit. That's probably what the next movie's gonna be about, and whatever. I just don't get it. I don't know. Shit writing. It was. I have very little positive things to say. I enjoyed Riri. They explained how she got to Wakanda, everything, like her building the vibranium detector. I can understand all that. But even then, like, they sent the Queen's daughter and Okoye alone, and then like they're getting chased by the FBI and everything, and it's like no, they don't think to hit Wakanda back up. It's just let's us 3 run from the police, and then Talacoans get there. Let's still not hit anyone else up to help us. Let's us 3 fight them.
Well, when did she learn those fucking motorcycle skills? Also,
I mean, like she drives everything AI.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't her, and she did.
Yeah, how she throws the thing, and she has a thing in her ear and everything, or she connects it. Yeah, so she went and connected one to the top of the car, and then she has one on the bike and everything.
I didn't see it on the bike, okay. But I was like, what? Does she have a background of being nice? What's happening?
Yeah, this was definitely like not a movie I was excited to tell people about that I was seeing, or like I have like godsons that are literally obsessed with just the Black Panther movie, and I had to tell their mom today, like, I wouldn't even mention that they have a second movie because there's literally, it's so sad. they're not going to get anything out of it like they did the first one.
Yeah.
And it's just sad.
And to the point of the writing, I don't care if, you don't have action, to that point, to a degree. Because I'm going to take it to this every single time, because to me this was the best show of the year. And I'm going to take it to House of the Dragon every time. There were episodes where there was no action, where we didn't see dragons, where we, episodes where literally people were just sitting at a table for 30 minutes of the hour episode having a conversation that was way more in depth than what we just got in this writing. And it's like, I don't have to have that. If you can give me a good story, like to the point of it not connecting to the first film, in ways you tried to with the outreach and then the UN conversation, like that was a very good scene to me with Queen Ramonda and the UN and her conversation there. Again,
that was the only time they looked strong.
Yeah.
The entire movie.
That was the only time they looked good when that was about the only time there. But the whole time I'm imagining too, like, that was it's like Angela Bassett, bro. Like, she was the only good thing about she was one of the really good things about the film. Like, she was extremely, the way that her presence on the screen, that the throne room scene when she demoted Okoye with, that's where she gave the trailer speech about have I not given everything. Like, that was so brilliant. Like, she was great. She was great. But like I said, I don't have to have all that action if you can just give a good written story. Like, why were we not talking strategy on how to take out Namor? Why were we not talking like these type of things? Why, like, at least in Winter Soldier, like that entire thing, it's from start to finish. You feel immersed in that film. You feel like, okay, the writing's on point, the acting's on point, the directing's on point. Like, everything, it checks all the necessary boxes with Winter Soldier. Right. With this, like, you couldn't even give me one or the other. Like, you gave good shit with Namor, of course. Like, that, we always knew that. Nobody was ever doubting that. No one was ever doubting, and no one was ever doubting, and I'm not saying, like, the acting's bad either, because the acting's not. Angela Bassett did a great job. Denai did amazing. Okoye did great. Like, no one was ever denying any of that. But it's just like, I don't know. It was just like, the writing was just, it was one of those things where, again, as I've said in other videos, you took a story that you already had, and then you had to just throw things in. It was just it was a combination of ideas. Yep. It was a combination of ideas that just bleed together to tell a semblance of some type of story or whatever you're trying to tell. Because even at the end, what you guys were just talking about with the whole in battle scene, when she's telling Namor to yield, and then he yields, and then he just shows up as they're fighting, and he says what he says to them. And
I knew that shit was gonna end that, and he just goes way though.
But it's just how abruptly it happened though. How he was just like stop. We're going home.
I knew it was gonna end.
I was just like, oh, okay, you're just gonna go home. It's just over. Like, he just shows up on the helicarrier and is like, we're just gonna go home. Yeah. So it just,
I don't respect you. Why'd you quit?
It just didn't make any sense to me. I didn't like that part. It was just all over the place. The whole just abrupt ending to him, to the feud with the nation that you said that you would burn to the ground if they got in your way, and then all of a sudden it's just like, we're going home. I was just like, oh.
Meanwhile, you killed their queen.
Yeah.
And he's just like, well, these things happen.
It was interesting.
Let me fly away.
I don't know. Is it like wrong to say I felt more depth in writing in like the Avatar trailer than I did the whole movie?
No,
I think the point Trey was making. To each other is we both were like, this is probably the fucking highlight of the night right here. That Avatar trailer was so
I'm pretty
good.
sure I said the same shit.
Yeah.
And then
I was like, because you repeatedly, oh my god. Oh
yeah, the whole time the Avatar trailer was, because I didn't watch the second trailer.
That was my first time seeing it.
That was my first time seeing it. I didn't watch the second trailer, so the whole time that it's going, I'm like, wow.
But we talked about it right before that trailer came out, or right before that preview started, where we were talking about the length of time, because I was like, are you excited for Avatar 2? And you were like, it's been a while. Yeah. It's been a long time. But I was like, Stranger Things taught me, man.
Yeah.
You made a good point. This is a huge gap. Like, would we still have the emotional capacity for it? And
Visually, that trailer was
so
amazing.
Beautiful.
It blew my mind.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
It was great.
But back to as far as the battle too, and just the abruptness of it ending, like Namor was kicking the shit out of her.
Out of everything in this movie.
Just kicking the shit out. Yeah, he was just wrecking shit. Okay, even him weakened. He's just beating the shit out of her.
Fuck the right. He killed her.
Yeah,
He killed her.
Yeah, like,
He killed her.
They cut
I've never
away,
seen
though.
any other. I mean, maybe I don't know if the Panther suit does that, but he stabbed her to a rock.
Yeah.
Like through. That's how I knew it went through her when she was stuck to
his spear. Though it's vibranium.
I'm saying.
What is it though? They said it's whatever. It's vibranium.
Yeah.
Pure vibranium.
But I mean, if
So
he
does that-
fucking put her
into
stuck
a
to
rock,
wall.
and that's what I'm saying. That was horrible, right? Like he couldn't have just like sliced her or some shit. Like he literally stabbed her into a rock,
Right.
and she pulls it out, and the suit automatically just closes, and it's like, oh, that healed the wound. Like boom, she.
Yeah.
I
Right.
was just like, what
And then all of
the?
a sudden,
Oh,
she's just
she's
a
fine.
martial
Yeah.
arts master.
She's not
like,
yeah.
And then
Well, see,
somehow,
Just all
my
of a sudden she lands some spinning kick.
I was
and
about
then
to say,
it's like
fuck all
he's on
that.
his
Somehow,
last
while
leg.
she
It's like,
somehow
what?
managed
From
to
what?
rip his wings off or something. I don't know
Yeah.
how she managed to catch him.
Right. And
Hey.
see, that's the thing too, is because the whole, for those that are cool with spoilers but haven't seen it,
does that.
they capture Namor, they try to
Wings are on
overheat
both
him.
sides. That's hard to grab.
They don't realize he can break out of the same ships he's been destroying this whole time. I don't know how they didn't know that would happen.
Yeah.
And Baku had just
But,
said
like-
he might be as strong as the Hulk. He
Yeah.
literally said that the scene before.
Yeah,
And then that's
and
how
so they
acted
crash
on it.
down right next to the water. She stands up and he's just vroom, 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 just hitting her.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden he's like, I still need water from dehydration, even
Yeah.
though I'm right next to fucking
Yeah,
water
he was
and
by
can
the ocean the
fly.
whole time. Could have done it.
Yeah.
It was just like really.
Well, and then not to mention, just last week, Nate Moore said when he's Ryan Coogler said, when he's by water, it increases his power that much more.
Right.
So when he's literally right by the
and that
ocean
was that
in
dope scene
So,
where he went in and shot up.
but you know,
Because
here's
he was
the
like,
here
dude,
was
they had him.
here's one of the
Yeah.
things too. We had a
John the
comment.
drink.
We had somebody because there's always people commenting as if I don't understand or we don't understand the Black Panther comment or Black Panther how it works or anything like that. So we had a comment where somebody said something like, "Of course Shuri's going to be able to take those hits. The suit is pure vibranium and it's the Black Panther suit and blah 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 blah. She has the heart-shaped
Kinetic
herb."
energy.
Okay, here's the thing though. That's fine. Yeah, I get all that. Thank you for explaining that to me. But I get all that. But here's the thing with that. The MCU has set the precedence that Shuri is a lab rat. She's tech. She spends all of her time. That's what we've discovered. Now, if like Ryan, let's take it back to what Ryan Coogler said a few weeks, or not a few weeks, but this week. We want it to be truthful. We want it to feel like it's supposed to fit. He said, if I write a script and I feel like something doesn't fit and it's not telling the truth to what we're trying to tell, then I take it out. If you think that this tells the truth of Shuri from the previous things that we've seen her in the films and in the cameos, because here's the thing, we should have maybe seen some type of, I don't know, mention maybe or a scene of her doing some training in that year gap from his death till the whatever. So because the Black Panther, just because you take the heart-shaped herb and you have the suit, it doesn't give you the martial arts abilities.
No.
You
That's
just
what
get
I'm
the
saying.
powers
like
of the
T'Challa had years of
Capoeira,
training.
Taekwondo.
like
Like,
you dead ass.
she-
All you get is like it's dead ass like
it gives you the powers of the Panther. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And then she
Like, you can
she
fucking
comes out.
run,
She
jump,
comes out and
and-
she's doing all this
Right.
martial arts acrobatic
Yeah.
shit. And I'm like, that's what I mean when I say, how are they making me believe this Shuri? Because if she's supposed to be smart, they could have done anything. Like they could have, like, here's the thing. Let's take it back to Civil War. Let's take it back to when they captured Bucky. When Tony wasn't a fighter, bro. Tony wasn't shit without that suit. Tony wasn't a fighter.
Yeah.
When Bucky broke out, when they did the whole mind control thing on Bucky again, and he broke out and he was trying to fight all of them in the lobby, Tony had to use his tech. T'Challa was still kicking his ass without the suit on. Was still kicking his ass. Then let's take it to the end of Civil War. She's supposed to be this tech guy, right? She knows all. She has her own AI, whatever his name was, I forgot. She's got her own AI. We saw at the end of Civil War, what did Tony say when he was getting his ass kicked? Friday, analyze his fight patterns.
Yes.
Let's kick his ass.
Yeah.
Use that dude. You make it believable. If that's what you want to do,
Right,
you
right.
said you wanted to make it believable, right? Make it make sense
That's what
because
they did with Taskmaster.
Yeah.
like
a
integrate her AI AI into the Black Panther suit or some shit.
Because it's not believable that she's doing all these back flips, front flips, grabbing motherfuckers by the neck and twisting them and all that
like
type
her,
of shit.
like if her Black Panther suit worked like how like a Hulkbuster suit would work, I would have been like, okay.
Yeah,
like she can sit here and like how like what's the temperature here, blase, how deep in the water am I here, this like, and then like she can like if the AI is telling her what to do and then she's acting on it, I could understand that. But it's like she was dead ass out in the field, like she was a Dora Milaje.
Like where was that martial arts?
Where was the
martial arts when Killmonger was about to kill her?
Yeah,
like where was the martial arts then? She was in fear when Killmonger was. It took her brother seeing her and then you know. The kinetic energy and blasting everybody off of him, and we know what we're talking about. The kinetic energy and blasting everybody off of him, then going to save his sister, and then even take it to Endgame. Where was all that in Endgame? Where was the martial arts in Endgame? All we saw her doing in Endgame was coming off that doing the same pew pews.
Yeah. Well, even early on in this movie, when her mom is like, well, you know, can we keep trying to work on the heart-shaped herb? And she's like, no, mom, like that's not what we need. We need science. Like even at that point, she was saying like, oh no, we don't need that. We need science. But yeah, no, that's how I felt. I was sitting there thinking, oh shit. So you take this herb, you get superhuman strength and agility, but also you get a black belt in Taekwondo and Krav Maga and ninjutsu, everything. Yeah.
That is why I've seen a lot of people say this is another redeeming quality. I disagree. That's why I didn't like Riri Williams in this movie. I thought the actress was fine. I'm not knocking her.
She did great.
It was fine. But what I'm saying is they bring her, you know, they keep, like, it's like a Chekhov's gun thing that wasn't marked off the list for me in this movie. They keep bringing up how good her tech is. She's the next Tony Stark. She's smarter than anybody and when it comes to this tech, right? And really all she does in Wakanda other than, you know, make her own suit and other than that is work on another one of the same machine we've already seen her built. Like, I really thought her character was going to go into designing parts of the new Black Panther suit.
That's what I was just going to say. I would have been completely okay if they would have sat there and worked on the suit together or showed like some kind of character building and them bouncing shit off each, like bouncing ideas off each other.
In my head, I was even like, you know, how Okoye keeps rejecting new science, right?
Yeah.
I could just see this kind of learning moment through Shuri where she puts on the suit and Riri's like, I can make that suit $1 million. You know, I can do all this stuff to it. And her being like, no, that's new technology. And then it'd be kind of like, oh, you're doing the same thing that the Doors were doing. Like, it just fits narratively in the story so well.
I mean, but
she didn't even touch the suit. Riri had nothing to do with that.
But even at that, I mean, that's not... Shuri's smarter than Riri. I mean, there's no need to even... I'm saying
it's
it's...
Like having a different...
Like, how amazed she was at the specific skills Riri had. Riri's a specialist in one area.
That's true. I'm just saying, I mean... Yeah. I just don't think even that's necessary. Right. I was one who was saying I think that she should have been brought in Armor Wars, and I didn't have, the way they brought her in this movie, like I said, I didn't really have an issue because it made sense. Like, with with the CIA hunting her down as well as Namor, and then like Wakanda wanting to get to her first because she built them. It all makes sense.
But it just felt to me like an exact replica of what America Chavez was to...
No, what it felt like is it was unneeded. And it felt like if they didn't add Riri, there would have been no happiness in that movie.
Yeah, there would have been no...
But even her, I remember, she brings up her dad dying.
But that's one, but that's just one little, like in the movie, like her main character where she's going around flying, like her main scenes, I enjoyed her scenes and everything. It's just the fact that I know that without her, there wouldn't have been too many happy scenes or anything.
No, I mean, that's true, but I'm just saying it's a new, younger generation hero coming into the movie, affecting the plot, but they're still trying to, like, Doctor Strange, you want a lot of America Chavez time, but it still needs to be Doctor Strange, right? Yeah. Well, in this movie, you got some Riri time, but it was still Black Panther 2, what it was, right? She just seemed shoehorned in a little bit, and she could have just had more to do with the ending. There were so many ways you could have played with her character more, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I wish they would have...
She was a little flat when it came to the big scenes.
Yeah.
Or even
is she just going to be standing there with the Queen...
I mean, some of her writing was even a little...
tech on you. Tony would have had tech on him 24/7, and if you're boasting...
weren't they like... Because they were doing something on the window. They were controlling
but I mean, that's standard Wakanda tech, but I'm saying, like, if you're going to be the new Iron Man, right?
Right.
Yeah. But she's even more of a tinkerer, in my opinion. She's, been doing it as a hobby since she was 3 years old, she said. Then, like, that happens, the
Show
windows
that
blow
skill,
out,
yeah.
you don't have a button that boosters on your feet appear, like,
Right.
that's the kind of shit Tony Stark had all
Well,
the time.
because she initially grabbed, even before she put on that, like, rudimentary, like, first Mark 1 suit that she had, she even grabbed, like, a little briefcase thing, almost like in
Tony
Iron Man
did,
2.
had
Yeah,
too,
Tony,
yeah.
Iron Man 2, like, remember with the racing scene with Mickey Rourke, homeboy, but...
Yeah, no, I...
Right, but it just, I don't know, there's just a lot of shit that maybe I shouldn't nitpick or think about that specific thing, but I'll do. It's kind of like why are you sending the princess to
well, that's
the United
just
States to
asinine,
go after
just
an asset? Stuff like
so
that,
dumb.
where...
No, I definitely
Yeah.
agree, though. When it comes to... I'm a huge Riri Williams fan because I love Tony Stark, and so just going into her series, I wish they would have shown her intelligence more. I mean,
Right.
I definitely agree what you're saying, Q. Like, Shuri is very smart, but if this is supposed to be, like, our next... Like Trey said, like, Tony Stark, I would have thought she would have been... just more prepared. I thought she would have been in the ending scenes more.
That's why she wasn't supposed to be in the movie though. That's
Yeah,
why,
but
that's
at the
why
same
she
time-
wasn't. Because she
Well,
was like, I don't know,
to
she,
show her intelligence, because like instead they were just like they made her funny, and then they were like, oh, and by the way, she's at MIT and does stuff for
Yeah.
people.
Oh,
by
well,
the way,
she's
she's
smart.
really
Yeah.
smart. They like kept telling you, oh, she's really smart, she can do this, but they didn't show it. Like the way
Yeah.
that like Tony Stark. Remember when Tony in the first Avengers when he started geeking out with Bruce? Like that's how you get to see that they're. And he's
Right.
like. Am I the only one who read this homework? And then Bruce like chimes in.
Yeah,
He's
I
like,
wish
oh,
it just
good.
would have been more dynamic
Yeah,
between
she could have
her
had
and
that in
Shuri.
Shuri.
yeah, like
exactly.
they like
That
they
could have
did
fleshed
it.
it out
They did it a
more,
little
yeah.
bit in the garage
Actual
scene when
way.
Shuri was
Right.
kind of geeking out on like how long did it take you to 2 weeks this,
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like nothing
But
that
they
like
didn't give
Shuri did. I was gonna say like
detail,
nothing
you know?
that Shuri did was
Right.
like impressing Riri or anything.
Yeah.
Like she didn't seem interested in anything. She was kind of just like, oh, y'all are kidnapping me because America wants me or the CIA wants me or
Yeah.
the blue water demon wants
Right,
me.
and-
Or, so I guess y'all
Yeah.
are kind of the best option maybe because y'all are my skin color and y'all are also kind of trying to kill me, right?
Look at where she was at the beginning of the film and the end of the film. The same fucking place. Right?
Yeah.
This was
Yeah.
a weekend adventure one-off Saturday cartoon episode. Right?
Namor's
Like, it was-
conflict is
it was,
not
I'm
resolved.
starting
Like,
here, and now I'm just right back here. I just happen
that's
to
my
be a
thing.
plot
Like,
device for a while.
are they not
Like,
still drilling for vibranium at the bottom of the ocean?
Yeah, I don't.
Like
Yeah.
nothing, like nothing
I
that
didn't
they
like her
made,
suit, though,
like
either.
nothing
I
that they
did not
made.
like
I
the
did not care for
I
the
think you
suit.
heard me when I finally
Yeah.
saw the suit. I was like, ugh.
That's my. I don't think it was supposed to look good
Honestly,
though.
it looked like Power Rangers.
But
like,
here's the thing with
Voltron,
Riri
like
Williams,
that
though,
kind of
that
thing.
I've seen people saying, because I even heard that guy as we were walking out say Riri sucked. Here's the thing: the focus was never supposed to be Riri.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I mean, she's
Right.
getting her own series where she's going to be fleshed out. We're going to see
Yeah.
more suits. We're going
Right.
to see more intellectual things from her. See more the tech on her, like Tony Stark and everything like that. She was shoehorned in. That's why it feels that way because it was never
Yeah.
supposed to
She
be about
literally
her.
was.
She was never supposed to be in this film. She has no connection
Connection.
whatsoever to Wakanda besides that she's a sister like the sisters that are there. I mean, that's it. She
But
has
I
no
also-
connection
yeah.
to
Hey,
Wakanda.
Are you complaining about more black representation?
Oh yeah, you know.
'Cause
So
you know they're giving you plenty, right?
I
Man,
just.
but it also like
Need you-
nothing in this movie made me. I did not leave this movie going, man, I really want an Ironheart series.
Well,
Right.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't do that because she didn't do
I didn't
shit in
care
this
about it.
movie
Yeah.
that she
Yeah.
could have
Well,
done.
That was
you
the
didn't,
point,
like,
yeah.
I
You were
didn't leave
supposed
this
to be like,
movie-
ooh, like this character enough that you would
So
at
I
least
could
sit down and
get a
watch their
out
series.
of it.
Right.
No,
I didn't
like-
fucking. I feel like she was. For being like y'all were saying, for being this smart, you're not talking. This you're not following your own character clues. You aren't really doing
Yeah.
anything. You are
Yeah.
a living plot device that goes right back where we need you when you're done.
Yeah.
I don't have that much of an interest to see an Ironheart series.
No.
Not that I hate her or like her. I was just indifferent. And
No,
I
it
shouldn't
didn't
be
do
indifferent about a
anything.
new
I
Marvel
think,
character.
I think
excited
for me,
about.
who is
I
a
should
fan
not
of
be
Riri
indifferent for
Williams,
someone
I
brand
think I
new.
was just expecting more of an introduction of her so that it would be more exciting for the series. Because there's nothing for me to be
Yeah,
like,
this isn't drumming up any
Yeah,
excitement
like,
going
okay.
in.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't, I guess maybe I'm different. I never had any expectations going in this film for Riri Williams because, again, she was never in. Like, when they put her in, I was like, oh, okay, the fuck is Riri Williams in Wakanda? But neither here nor there. So I never had any expectations for her. I didn't. She was funny. She's cool. She was a cool little Every now and then a cool little, she gave that little comedic, and again, it wasn't Dominic Thorne. She did amazing. My problem with the jokes was the movie was so wrapped up in traumas and all of this and this and that it was hard to laugh at her jokes. It was like her jokes would come in, but then you were instantly reminded how it's a funeral. So it's
one thing. It's just it's crazy because nothing.
She had funny, nice moments.
Like absolutely nothing about the movie really changed anything. Like it's just the main conflict in the movie is that Namor is finding out that people are drilling for vibranium in the ocean. And he doesn't want anyone to know that his city's down there or anything. So he's looking for the person who built the machine. Finds her. There's another machine down there. They're still drilling for vibranium. Pretty soon they're going to find out. I just don't see what was resolved. Riri Williams is still alive, the person who built the machine. I just don't see what was resolved in the movie to where Namor is going to sit back and be like, huh.
Well, and it fucking... I also
kind
feel
of
like
what
it
he
didn't
said
connect.
at the end. Go ahead.
Oh, it didn't connect to me for Namor because, we've made this joke. Namor kept the same energy 24/7. So it made him such a good character, right?
Yeah.
Right.
He could sit there and he would be like, I love my people.
Yeah.
Your people are amazing too. I want to protect my people. Look at all the people that I love and care about, and they are under my protection, and I keep them safe. And I will fucking disembowel you.
Yeah.
In the
same breath, in the same tone.
Yeah,
If you mess with my people, I will play with your spine. Like
No
like
problem.
I will take you to Mortal Kombat immediately. Like no joke, and like I don't know. In the end,
Those
he
were the
just
best scenes.
right, but he carried that energy the whole way through, and then she's just like, yield. This isn't gonna work for either one of us. When like. She said that they said that all through the movie. They said, "Don't do this, don't do this, don't do this."
Right.
But in the end, she's like, "Don't do this," and he's like, "Okay, let's hop on a little plane together and go tell our armies, hey guys, let's go home." It made no sense. Like there was no resolution in that.
Yeah.
His philosophy was not challenged.
No.
He did not see the error in any of his ways.
No.
I mean, he even left this movie to again make Wakanda seem weak. He left this movie as, "You got to trust me. They'll need like he manipulated this to his.
Yeah.
He won."
Yeah.
In the end of this, who came out of this exchange with the better deal? He did.
And the CIA thinks that all of this was the Wakandans.
That's what I'm saying. But it was just weird how he's so determined and so absolute about it.
Yeah.
And then
Just
they have him burning down, just doing all this crazy shit the whole movie, and then she's like, "Let's stop fighting," and he's like,
Okay.
"Oh fuck yeah, I don't know why I'm over here in the first place. Like, oh, aren't our people slaughtering each other
Yeah.
a mile away from here? We'll
Let's
make them
go
stop."
tell them to cut it out.
It just seemed like they wanted a quick resolution, and then to get into the probably the end of the movie, they just went back to emotional ass pulling.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just
Yeah.
like, let's bring it all right back before they leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was completely unnecessary showing the montage of, because at the beginning you showed the montage,
the Marvel Studios.
Yeah, with the no music, during the Marvel Studios logo thing there they do at the beginning, and then to have the pictures at the end of he and Shuri's interactions and things like that, you could have kept that too. But then to the last thing here before we start answering some people in the chat and things, the mid-credit scene that they introduced. As I said, I saw it before the film, and I feel the same way that I felt about it the first time I saw it. It just have more plot holes. It completely contradicts BP1 to me. Was not the motivation of T'Challa to being upset with his father and his ancestors before him because they kept Killmonger a secret? Because you were wrong, that was the whole thing. You were wrong. All of you were wrong.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing. Then for him to turn around and Nakia say, "We thought we would keep him safe from the pressures of the throne, and
Yeah,
we kept him
that part
secret.
didn't
We
make
had our
sense
own
to me.
ceremony here, and that's why we weren't at the funeral. And yes,
How
Queen
often was
Ramonda.
T'Challa going off to
How
Haiti?
sick was?
Like,
I mean,
what was
because
going on?
she made it seem
You
like
know?
we decided it was best for him not.
Yeah.
So it's like he was sick enough for. Like they made it seem like he was
No,
really sick. Like
yes. It was
Yeah.
Chadwick's life.
Yes,
it
that's
was
how they-
Chadwick's life.
Like
That's
they made
what
it seem like,
was.
oh, he was sick and he told his wife like, hey, I'm sick, but we're gonna have this kid, and so when
It
I
was
die, don't
Chad's
send him
life.
to the
He
funeral
kept
like that.
it
Yeah,
secret. Exactly.
literally how it
That's
was.
what it was. They took Chad's life, took his death, and formed a fictional story around his real death. And that was the plot, the pulling, the emotion. That was everything. That's what they wanted it to be.
Yeah.
It did exactly what they wanted. In terms of did they win? Did they get a W? Yes. Did Marvel get a W on this? Yes. In their eyes, they got a W on this. They left that theater, they left the editing rooms and the premiere and everything else, thinking to themselves, we did that shit.
Feeling so proud, yeah.
We
Proud.
did
They were
that.
like, that was for Chad.
Everybody walked out in tears. Everybody clapped at the end. People are giving it. We did that. And the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes and the scores on, and it's like I said, you can feel the way you want to feel about the film. That's fine. But when I go to fictional films, that's not what I go for. And with the stuff with little TJ, you know,
Another trope.
the kid, as I've said before, I'll give credit where credit's due. I said this that night we talked about it the first time. Kid's a good actor.
Yeah.
Most times I don't like kid actors.
He's such a cute
Yeah.
kid.
He's a
Most
cute
time
little
kid actors make me cringe, but he was a good actor.
He was.
I saw another review where somebody all these guys on their review, and they were talking about, well, not all these guys, there's two of them. And they were like, and I questioned. I was asking myself during the mid-credit scene, was that really Chadwick's son? Because he looks just like him. We don't all look alike. We just don't.
Not them saying.
That's
You know,
That's
what- and
still the
but
most
that's
racist
what I-
thing I run into.
that's
If you
what
see a
I-
light skin with curly hair, that's Q.
But that's what I mean. That's what I mean with the general audience and
Yeah.
being brainwashed into things and being like just
The
so
kid did a
okay
good job
with
his
everything
voice
like that.
pattern.
No,
Like-
it sounded like he really had an accent
Yeah,
too. No,
his
he
voice
did really
pattern, and
good.
It sounded like
He's like, "Are you gonna?"
T'Challa,
Yeah.
but yeah.
No, the ending when she like introduced TJ and the whole like we thought it was
Fucking
best
TJ,
to
dude.
not bring it. I just thought that was really weird because also this was in the first movie. This was a man that was so proud of where he came from, and like Darius just said, like the whole argument with him and his ancestors and his dad is like he was one of us and you didn't let him feel like he was one of us, just for him to turn around and be like, oh, because I'm sick and dying, I don't think you should bring him back to our home country.
Well, it just
he even,
contradicts what the character
promised it to
stands for.
Killmonger.
Yeah.
While Killmonger was like dying, he basically like promised that like we are going to help, like we are going to use.
We're going to open up Wakanda. We're going to help children
I
like
see
us
that there's
across
other
the world.
And
And people like.
he buried him there, like you know what I mean, like in his where he should have been the whole entire time. So it's just
It just did because also I mean, what have we learned from his story in the MCU? He lost his dad, right? That time was cut short. We watched it happen.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I just don't believe there's any iteration of T'Challa that wouldn't be with his son, other than when he's on a mission, or you know what I'm saying?
That's what
like,
I'm saying. But instead, once
would
a
want
month
to
he
him-
flies out to Haiti.
Yeah,
Like, what?
but I'm saying like he would also have the responsibility, and T'Challa makes very rational decisions.
Yeah.
That like, well, I owe it to my son and my people to raise up the best king possible in my stead, right? Like, or when I go, right? It just narratively doesn't make sense for the character.
Who better could teach?
He's
his
just
son
like going it, but it also
than
seemed
him?
like ashamed of how his people would react. We chose to keep him there. I knew I was sick. It won't go. Why? Because you don't believe that your people can, like, they can't guide your son. You don't trust them. You don't trust them to teach him grief. Like you don't.
It just goes against too, like African culture too. Like I'm not African, but in African culture, like they don't name their children juniors.
Nope.
Like I'm T'Challa Junior, like Prince, son of King T'Challa. Kid was fine. I'm not knocking the kid. Kid was fine. And here, and how they're going to use the kid in the future and things like that, E-Man did that interview with Nate Moore that we're going to look at just in a second here. But E-Man did that interview with Nate Moore where he got to ask him some of the questions that we've all kind of been wondering. And he's going to put out the second part of that where he's asked him about, little TJ's future and things like that. And I've seen some people saying, like, outside of the Storm stuff, seen some people saying they may not even do that. They may not, and that's true too. They may not do that because what they're trying to do is tell an accurate story here. They're trying to they're substituting T'Challa for TJ. So they're giving us TJ, and with giving us TJ, what they're going to do is they're going to flesh out those stories. So there's been the theories that they're going to age him up for Secret Wars. I don't think so anymore. Because they want to actually tell a whole story with him. That he has to literally be unless it's one of those things where Marvel's saying, okay, we've got him, he's going to show up every now and then, you'll see him, blah blah blah, that's TJ over there, that's your Black Panther now, whatever. Or they're really going to dive deep and try to tell some type of story here. And if they do, again, I take it back to the Young Avengers. There are too many young heroes in the MCU right now. Right. You got America Chavez, you got Thor's little adopted child, you got Wanda's twins, you've got Scar, you've got
what's her name from
Miss Marvel,
Hawkeye.
You've got Kate Bishop, you've got
possible Wiccan Speed coming.
You've got all these young heroes coming. Now you add little TJ.
Falcon from
you got Patriot from Falcon and Winter Soldier. You've got Riri Williams, who we just watched. You've got you've got all these young heroes. I wouldn't doubt it if they put him on some type of young team and grow him up and he be that way. And it's again,
they're literally trying to like rewrite history or some shit. They're so just like redoing in 50 years this can be like some comic story to elaborate off of or some shit. Oh, T'Challa's T'Challa Jr. This that. Like,
they're just giving they're giving his story now. So I mean,
and it's like another thing I wanted to say is like, so we know that all the plot leaks we got were true for the most part. It just almost confirms how much they took the Doom scene out.
they
like that Doom scene was in there.
That's why I mean, which I don't really care about the spoilers and not spoilers, like the Easter eggs and things like that. They were things I noticed that they said and that could allude to certain things, like when Suri said whoever made this is a complete whoever did this is a genius, and
when you're like
whoever's funding this and all all that stuff, like that was supposed to be Doom. But again, they took Doom out because why? They needed you to feel the way we all felt, the way that I felt last night leaving the film.
That's why.
So, as you can tell, I'm so sorry to the 107 of you, and that's first of all so very much appreciated that all 107 of you are here, and I do
thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and I do want to go through the chat there and say some things, just shout outs to certain people that are everyone that's here, but I'm so sorry to all of you that if especially if you're new here, that you might be coming in, if you've been watching some of our past recast videos and you like the energy and things that we bring, that I have no energy to give you today. I mean, as far as like the over the top, I really don't care, man. I really don't care. Like I just I'm good on it. So shout out to
just don't give a fuck.
Be Real D-Real. We appreciate Be Real D-Real being here. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate
I saw like 2 or 3 super chats earlier. That was dope.
We appreciate the super chats.
Yeah.
We got one from Be Real. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you for the super chat there. We also got another one from Vale. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Superb. We got one from there. Of course, we got another one there from Paul. And Paul, bro, we appreciate yours and everything that you guys gave there. So thank you so much. Appreciate you guys being here. So, like I said, we want to read through some of these comments here and get through some of this stuff with you guys. Why is this not going all the way up for me?
Fuck you.
In the chat.
That's because you have it on top chat when you should go to live chat, and you still can't scroll back up. I was wrong. I lied. I think they just, we've gotten so many comments, I'm pretty sure they're not all going to pop up unless we literally, rewind it on the stream and go back.
Okay, I see. Well, like I said, we appreciate everybody being here. So we'll start with where it is. Well, no, because we need to be able to read the super chat. Why can't I read Paul's super chat?
I was trying to do
Well,
it.
actually, Paul sent in the 10 and said thank you. He said just sending it in ahead of time for the stream. So we appreciate you for that, Paul. There was no question there that he has. But let's get on Vale there. What did he say in his super? That's now not showing up for me.
It's not showing. I can't find anything right now.
Nah, that's crazy.
Sorry, guys. We've never had this many comments before.
I thought I saw it.
We're new to this.
Nah, that super should have popped up in there.
Here, I'll go to...
It's weird, yeah.
Alrighty, Veli Superb with this super said, who has a chance to immortalize their friend by keeping him alive in fiction but chooses to kill that friend in the same way he died in real life?
Exactly.
Nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, bro, it was nuts. It was crazy.
Or is that €5? Like, that's
It
love.
was
That's not even
crazy.
American dollar.
It was
I love
very
where we're at.
weird watching. Yeah,
I
man,
will
it was weird. We've got.
It's gonna be hella squeaky over here.
We've got.
Wait, can you see all the chats again?
No, I can. I only pulled up the supers and everything, but I can see a little bit more. It's just not accurate because they're always refreshing and it keeps sending my shit back down. The latest one I see, or the last one I see is B-Real with B-Real. He said, cherry picking is the order of the day at Marvel Studios.
Right.
And then he had to go for a video, but
we appreciate him being here.
so however you want to read them, if you just want me to
Let's just start
from
at the top. Just start at the top.
Brian Dogs, maybe you're gonna come and read that. Trey's back. Give me a minute. Or Darius, if you want to read them, my fault.
Apologies.
Alright, I'm back.
No, go ahead and start.
Rohan Falconer said that the CGI was a little poor.
I can agree with that. There's a few moments I was like, ooh.
I can agree and disagree. I just don't like how I felt like I didn't see a lot of Wakanda.
Yeah, but
There was a couple 3-second shots, but I just wanted to see more, like how we got in that Avatar trailer, the beautiful shots of just I just wanted to see more Wakanda, more just, and that's not even CGI really. I don't think it's just.
I mean, a lot of the city would have been CGI generated if they'd have done certain shots, or
Yeah.
that's like I always use the example because of how these movies really are done. Of if you remember in the Ant-Man Quantumania preview we saw, where they're sitting there, they go, "Where are we?"
Yeah.
I wanted to go in a green room,
Yeah.
in a full green, like. So there would have been CGI. They're very good at doing it, at least doing the further path from set, the farther away you'd get.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I think that this show, I would say, I saw the money, I saw the budget.
Yeah.
It was there.
Yeah.
It just didn't deliver with. I mean, I don't know that they didn't push anything. It definitely didn't seem as immersive as like the new Ant-Man movie is. So.
Yeah.
Right. No.
Before we keep reading those, let me go ahead and show this. Now, everybody, I'm sure, has seen. Everybody that should be in here has probably seen this by now.
We can go ahead and address some of the things that Nate Moore said here. So we'll listen to what E-Man asked him, and then we'll break some of those things down.
Emmanuel Noisette from E-Man's Movie Reviews, the movie blog out here in Chicago. Clearly, with the passing of Chadwick, that was I can't imagine what type of emotional burden it had to be for you, the cast and the crew, to like move forward, right? But can you talk about the decision to use the real life tragedy and impose it on the fictional character of T'Challa? Because while it can be cathartic for some, it can also be triggering to relive that pain again. So can you talk about the decision to go forward with
I mean, it was, look, Chadwick's passing was shocking to us all and hit us all a bit differently. But he, I can't say this enough. Like, he was such an impressive person beyond the performer, and had relationships with all the cast and Ryan and myself who got to know him through Civil War, and you have the very real conversations of, should we even make a movie?
Right.
Right. Certainly, not all movies need sequels. There's been amazing movies that are one and done. And those were conversations that we had. And Disney at no point said you have to make a sequel. They said, we'll do whatever you feel is right. And then you start to think about, and no one can really know, right? But I go, I think Chad would have wanted us to make a sequel because he knew how much Wakanda meant to people. But people make movies. Movies aren't plopped off an assembly line. We as people who are dealing with the loss of a person have to be able to believe in and make a movie, and we couldn't figure out how to get our heads around making a movie with another T'Challa.
But so
this might be where you get what you came here for.
So hold on. So he just said a lot of fucking words that had nothing to do with the question that was asked to him.
Correct.
He immediately baited into T'Challa, into this and that, right? Like, he's like, I don't even know if Chadwick wanted us to make another movie. I don't even know if we make another movie. It's like, well, you did. You just made it about him. Like, it's just a poor decision.
He knew he was doing an interview. He took the Ambien. We've been over this. He takes the Ambien.
Yeah, but it's just like,
does the interview.
Why did you want to use the real life pain? Well, we know he wanted another movie. Is what you just fucking got there. He just said a lot of words to say nothing. Yeah. He just went on a fucking diatribe about how sad it is to lose your friend.
Why did you put his real life death in the movie? Well, we couldn't exactly figure out how to wrap our heads around another T'Challa. Okay, cool. So why'd you put his exact death in the movie? Well, we know he wanted another movie and everything, but we couldn't figure it out. So again, why is his death in the movie?
Sometimes I feel like what they'll do is they'll talk that much, it's just pontificate, expand your sentences, so no one will listen to the whole fucking sentence, right? I listened to half of that, I came and got that, oh, I like him, like, because I'll be listening to half the shit that people saying, and I'm like, you're not even answering the fuck, what was the question again? Hold on, you're way over here, and sometimes they're blatant like this. It's had nothing to do.
And then he just kept stuttering over
and they owe, and the way E-Man is presenting this, they owe people a responsible and carefully, emotionally, your well-being thought-out response to this. We are taking response for showing you grief.
An answer.
Like, here's why we felt... Again, just be straight up with me. They say, here's why we felt the need to be the way we did and show it this way. But instead, he's just like, haha, and we weren't. And another movie... Like, that's your answer?
Yeah, the way he started that, the way he started the whole thing, when he said, well, actually, let me take it somewhere else. When he said, we're not an assembly line. People are, we're not able to just throw movies off an assembly line, and we couldn't see putting Chad or somebody replacing Chad or whatever. And then he said, we even thought, like Ryan Coogler said, not even making a movie. So movies are one and done movies, and blah 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 blah. That's where I have my issue with everything there. Not just the dancing around the question, because the question was never answered. And then he ended it with, people want to know more about Wakanda. I think that's what he said. Did he say Wakanda? He said more something.
He knew people loved Wakanda.
Yeah, he knew people loved Wakanda. Yeah. This is what I've been saying week in and week out. When it comes to Nate Moore, if you listen to Nate Moore talk 1 week or 1 day, even maybe hours before, it doesn't really matter. Maybe the same day,
it doesn't
where
take
he
it
talks.
Sentence to sentence.
No, that's what I'm saying. Where he's talking and it's he's trying to keep up with the lies that he's had to tell. Yeah. I've used this example. We have a whole video over this example. The 2018 Nate Moore at the Black Panther at the Black Panther BP1 premiere. In order to first love the Black Panther, Wakanda, you have to love T'Challa. So him, even here, he's contradicting what he said in the past. He's dancing around the question that was asked here. No one asked anything about anything that he was talking about. We asked, what do you think about taking that real life tragedy and inflicting it on the character and telling that story? We danced around that. And then he said, like I said, when he said, we couldn't see ourselves doing this film without Chadwick, without somebody that wasn't Chadwick. And movies are some movies are one and dones. Not every movie gets a sequel. When in the MCU does not every movie get a sequel?
Well, that's what I said literally as soon as he said it.
When in the MCU,
not to make as many of your movies as people.
That doesn't happen within the MCU. So within the MCU, there's not one point.
I've never seen them just.
I'm saying the MCU because that's where they work. That's their precedent.
I'm just saying, but here go a superhero and here go one movie. Like I've never heard that even just with the superhero movie.
It doesn't happen. You're trying to tell you have a cinematic universe where you're telling a story. That literally that first one has ramifications for how it affects the wider story that you're telling here with the MCU. So don't come in here and say, some movies are one and dones or whatever. No, bro, that's not what we're talking about. And then to say we're not an assembly line, like we can't just pump out movies or whatever to the effect he said like that. We couldn't see ourselves doing that. Well, then you're in the wrong line of work, Nate. You're in the wrong line of work.
Honestly,
you're a movie producer for one of the most successful movie studios in the world.
Yeah.
And you say you can't see yourself telling a story. You can't see yourself adding to the story that you started telling back in 2008. Then get out of this line of work.
Yeah,
that's weird. It's weird, bruh.
Well, it's also he's lying. He's lying about one major thing, or maybe not lying, just not alluding to. Right? Chadwick passes, and he's like, "Man, we don't even know if." And he looks up at a board that's literally is like, Black Panther, Disney's plan to lead the new Avengers.
Yeah.
Chadwick loves the script for the new Black Panther movie.
Yeah.
I mean, leading billion-dollar movie, you look up at all these plans and everything y'all had built for this, and you go, man, maybe some movies are one and done. We didn't plan to use him for a lot of shit, guys, and maybe we just don't. Like, you fully had a plan. He was a huge, as he's supposed to be, major player in the MCU.
Yeah.
You can't fucking one and done Wakanda. So much shit happens there. And it's just like,
it was just such
doesn't make sense.
Man,
they were never planning to do that.
Unrelated thing to even bring up that had nothing to do with the question.
Right. And that's why I hate how they go for the emotion.
These movies.
He goes for the emotion of like, should we hurt our friend? Will it hurt our, it goes for your emotions like the movie did, but like, no, you planned this. You had so many plans with the Black Panther. You know what this character means. That's why you're making him so prominent.
Exactly.
But you're going to pretend like you didn't.
We're
you don't know any of
that. Secret Wars.
Yeah.
Like, come on. It was going to be one and done.
And kind of shocking that Disney.
Project.
It's kind of shocking that Disney with how much they were investing into T'Challa as a cash cow, leading the new Avengers, this and that. Yeah. How quickly Disney was like, well, let y'all make the decision. Yeah. I'm surprised when they said, okay, well, we're getting rid of him. They weren't like, whoa.
And that's what I've been saying this whole time. Like, I think it's weird that there wasn't one person throughout this whole process that's like, this is weird. We're not doing this. We need to take a step back. We need to make some other decisions because this is a no. I think it's just fucking weird.
Yeah, it's like, so, we'll finish saying here. Listen, the other thing too that he said, to add to that, the whole Disney not having a say in it. Disney said you can do whatever you want to do with it. So if Disney is saying, you guys are helming this, you can do whatever it is you want to do with this film. Why not push it back? Why then come in a month or however months, 2 months after, and then just make the decision like, hey, we're still going to go on with this. Disney literally put it in your hands to make the decision on what you want to do with it, and you said, no, let's rewrite it and get it out there now. We'll finish what Nate Moore said here.
Is the truth. So now you got some cognitive dissonance, right? You want to make a movie because, man, Wakanda means a lot. Yeah. Can you make a movie with your looking at somebody saying that's not my friend? Yeah. Every day? Mm-hmm. I couldn't. But I understand the conversation. Okay. And I don't think it's wrong. Okay. I think it's just we had to make the movie we knew how to make, you know? And so So making the movie about the passing of T'Challa felt like the best way to honor both. And I think the cast agrees. I won't speak for them. I'll let them speak for it. I think in talking to them, I think they agree. And it was hard. It was a hard process. I mean, we lost him during COVID.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even like we all got
It's
to
like
collect
double the pain.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, we all experienced losses during COVID that you didn't really get to grieve because COVID prevented that.
Right.
And being together and making this film was the first time we were all together to be able to talk about that. And then the process of making the movie allowed people to pour some of those emotions into their roles, into their reads, into what it was. And by the way, our crew lost him too, because a lot of our crew was the same crew. So we made the movie that we thought we could make in a way that felt respectful to the legacy of the man and to the world. And I think audiences are allowed to feel how they feel about it. And I will never tell anybody how to feel about watching this movie. I hope it's cathartic. You could be 100% right, though. It might trigger some people, and I hope that's not the case. Audiences are going to have to tell us, you know?
Right.
But,
so,
I'm so glad I came there.
Thank you so much.
To think
That's
about.
exactly why I paid for that ticket.
But, okay, y'all realize that was still the first question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was still the first. We had to go from here to here, and then back over here. Like it was. Yeah. And then he sits there and is just like, "What? You know, this might actually trigger some people." Like, that wasn't your plan. That was what you intended with the 50 minutes of this movie being Chadwick's face and death.
The look on his face and the way he said it, it looked like that was literally the first time it had even occurred to him. Like,
sure. They don't. Like I said, it's trying to keep up with one thing from the next to the next, and saying that he hopes it's cathartic, and it could be triggering for some people, but people are going to have to tell us if it is triggering, and just everything like that. I just really wanted to play that because I just found
What's his second? What's his second question?
It's more that really is it. He asked the second.
Oh.
After hearing the decision not to recast,
you know, and I don't know how privy you were to it or not, but like, you know, prompted me to go ahead and start a little petition.
I saw.
No big deal, right? But the whole purpose was always to have a conversation because, you know, the love and admiration that I had for the character and for Chadwick was something, you know, especially the first movie, just being so impactful, right?
Sure.
I guess my question is more so like, what was your reaction when you heard of the petition or the hashtag or the conversation? What kind of conversations were happening at Marvel with the cast, crew, whoever?
Yeah, I think I get it. I mean, I get it. Like I certainly wasn't like, that's crazy. I was like, oh, I get that point of view. And I understand why people were so inspired by the man and the character. And it's a loss. I mean, it's a loss. There's no way to say it. I think that doesn't mean that people can't be inspired by the new Black Panther.
Sure.
And I think that doesn't mean that people can't be inspired by Wakanda post T'Challa. I think, and I hope that people give the movie a chance and watch it, and then if they still feel that way, that's okay. Like that is within everybody's right? But I hope they give the movie a chance.
Sure.
I hope they watch it.
Yeah.
And I hope they like it. Boy, that's the only reason we're making this movie is for fans to like it.
Sure.
You know.
Well, you heard from the man himself. Let's see.
Sorry about that, guys. Eagle super fan, we appreciate you for the super chat. Appreciate you so much.
Yeah, that's dope. But no, he just, I don't know, his whole, I get it. Like, I get it, it makes sense. Yeah, because it's the only way that makes sense. But instead of doing something that you're like, I understood. Yeah, duh. But no, I want you to see this macabre movie about my friend's death and a perversion of your comic book.
Yeah, I think when he said well, I just couldn't see another person where my friend's face is supposed to be. Like, that just said the whole thing. Like, you made a selfish-ass decision.
It's gatekeeping.
Yeah, like, literally, you made this decision based...
Again,
you muted us.
Yeah, it's not no more.
I was going to say. That's right, because Henry texted us on.
It's just one of those things where...
Henry never text me.
Yeah, someone comment.
It's just one of those things where, you know, again, you're in the wrong line of work. You know, that's like if I take my you know, it's just you're in the wrong line of work. You're in the wrong line of work. You're trying to tell stories, but you can't see yourself telling stories. Yes.
Okay.
You're trying to tell stories, but you can't see us telling stories without anybody other than Chad. Again, it's one of those things. So,
and then we got another super chat from the Bruta who said, "Give the movie a chance is equal to complain after you give us your money."
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, he's like, I see all your points and it makes sense, and I understand him saying he understands the conversation, right? What this character means, how we don't want to see, you know, the whole not seeing Black Death on film, like all the things that would actually, he literally said in the question before, wow, this might actually trigger people, but give it a chance. Like, why should you ever have to, why should I ever go into a superhero movie about fucking superheroes and them go, this might really trigger you, really, but give it a shot. Like, why would you have to prompt me with that? About some real life shit, like
I may stand alone in this, but Nate Moore is a liar. Everything I listen to, he contradicts himself. I no longer care to listen to his opinion because I no longer know what he really feels. I no longer know if what he says is what he's really feeling because every time Darius plays a video for me, he's contradicting himself. That's like anything he's ever said I've never seen on my own because I'm never at home and Nate Moore says something. I'm like, oh, let me click that. So like I just don't care because I know everything he's saying right now is simply to protect his emotions, honestly, because he knows they made the wrong decision and he can't come out and just say that. And so it's just like, let me protect our decision, let me continue to dance around, beat around the bush, and just hope that there one day someone doesn't put together just this 5-10 minute montage video of me contradicting myself. Because honestly, I'm at the point where I may do it myself. I may edit the video of him just lying, just back to back to back, just here's this, then here's that, and then here's this, and then here's that. Because he does it like I'm in here like almost 5 days a week now, and I just know it. Like I listen to him too much to know, like I know like when he's bullshitting, when he's telling the truth. It's just I don't know. I don't enjoy listening to him anymore simply because it's just not like at least tell me like what I don't want to hear. I'd respect it. Like if it's not what I want to hear, cool. But it's just like he's trying to spoon feed me all these like weak ass opinions that like they're not even relevant because he doesn't even give a fuck about the opinions he's trying to share. He doesn't even believe in his own word, and so it's just not relevant to mention me. Like if you want, like I don't know, like I feel like we love shitting on Nate Moore as like a community and channel. I feel like it's so like honestly, I'm 100% all like to do it, like I will like I'm 100% all along for like to whatever we have to do. But I just as a person, I mean like I just don't think he's a good person. And I may be alone in that. I just don't like the way he's handled this whole situation and like the way at least like I don't know.
I just don't like how I would act about my friend who died. I wouldn't morbidly write real life shit how he died into a fucking superhero movie.
I'm not even. But that's the thing. I'm not even sure he had too much to do with just like. I just know he said, okay, we're not gonna recast. My thing is, I just don't like the way he's handled. Like it. Ryan Coogler sounds like he's still hurt in all his interviews, and he's still, at least like he's just giving you what he can. But he like Nate Moore just sounds like he's just this businessman lying this, that, and let me wake up today and see what what lines my publisher has. Like when he started stuttering in his interview with E-Man, I knew he ain't have no lines. Right. And he said and like I knew he was done. Right. I went to piss because I knew he was about to spit out some horse shit. Well, and I didn't care.
That's the problem too. When you said it earlier, but I just want to reiterate on this, like. If you got to tell me bad news or something I'm not going to want to hear, like, say it with your chest. Just say it, Just be like, hey, here's what I'm doing, right?
Because I immediately, like you're saying, it's like you see a snake, and it's like, well, why are you studying?
And it's like stand on it too. Don't say something one day and then 2 days later, we actually had this that we never even then we have the whole new. And like, no, just stand on whatever you got to say, and we can accept that.
If
like,
you got an opinion on me or on something, and you tell me, it doesn't have to be necessarily negative, just something I'm like, because again, we're talking about a fictional universe in a movie, right? I mean, at the end of the day, it's what it is, right? I'm a grown fucking adult. I can get over it. If you're like, here's how it felt like rumors years ago about them doing a Spawn movie where Spawn wasn't really in the movie. Did you see those rumors?
No.
Where he was just basically, the whole concept was him being an ethereal ghost, like watching the events play out, right? And I was like, that sounds fucking terrible. But the dude doubled down and said, here's how I want to do it. And I was like, oh, fuck, that movie's coming out. And I accepted it and I moved on, right? But when you start doing this dodgy shit and acting some kind of way, it's like, I am, as a human being, naturally inclined to be like, why are you... You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, why are you so shifty?
If I'm like, hey, can we do this? And you look at me, you go, no. I have to choose at that point to get the fuck over it.
Yeah.
Or I can let it make me mad over here, but, you know.
Honestly,
right. But if I ask you the same question, you're like, what, I think... I'm like...
Politician.
What are you doing?
Circles.
yeah, it's like he's trying to appease like every audience at once. Like he knows there's this side of fandom that like doesn't like they want to see Shuri as the Black Panther. They don't really care about recast, but then he knows that there's the whole recast side, and so like he's trying to dance around and please everyone. But at the end of the day, like that's just what you can't do that in life. Like some people are gonna hate your decisions, people are gonna love them, but at the end of the day, like I don't even hate his decisions. I just hate him for how he's carried out and how he's acted about his decisions.
I think when he was saying
like any nigga who like if he's like coming and hitting you with laughs before he answers a question, he's lying, bro. Like I've done it. Like I know what he's doing.
The
Answer.
second,
Go ahead.
The second question that E-Man asked, and you know when he was like, "What was the conversation?" Like you said, when he just started laughing, that just proved to you there was no conversation because we didn't care. Like we saw it.
He's like, well.
Yeah, you know.
we saw it, but we didn't really give a fuck about it. To be honest, we saw your petition, didn't really give a fuck about it.
Like all press is good press in a way. You know what I'm saying? Because you know we're not a majority in you know Recast T'Challa is not as much of a majority as fucking everyone who's fucking mindlessly going with this movie has to be about Chadwick. You can't say anything, right? Because then you're disrespecting Chadwick to say that your character's story. They're very careful, right?
Yeah, you're villainized.
Right. So I think it's just to him, he's like, fuck it, you know. Y'all are gonna go see the movie and be mad about it, and then go on a podcast and talk about it, and it's still gonna drum up hype for me. Just give my movie a shot, even though you're gonna hate it. I think he just wants to make money.
It might trigger you, but I hope you still go get triggered.
I still hope you go see the movie.
For money.
Yeah. And he's like, oh shit, I guess we, he's like, I guess we thought about doing a second movie. Like, I guess everything he's just trying to get through the conversation without giving you anything of substance.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Nate doesn't, Nate's just out here. He's the token. Him and Ryan, they are both the tokens.
The Bruda shout out again, a second super chat.
Yeah.
Saying
thank you, bro.
No convo means they had it planned from the start. They didn't care about recast, backlash back then either.
That's
so
true.
Yeah, exactly.
They didn't give
They don't care about any of the recast backlash. We've seen them recast several times as far as the MCU's gone so far. So we've seen several people recast it in the MCU. I mean, Cassie Lang, Rhodey,
Red Skull,
William Hurt.
William Hurt. I mean,
I really want to hear from parents that take their kids.
We've seen people be recast.
Yeah, like if you're not like big on like let's say you're just not into the spaces we are and researching what's going on to the movies, like my mom asked me how the movie was. I'll take my little brother to see that shit.
Yeah, I was saying earlier,
Like why?
My
First, mom, don't go see that shit. Is what I should have told her. But I was like, it's cool. I mean, you may like it. Some people aren't gonna like it. Some people may like. I mean, I wanted to be straight with. She might like it, but the fan in me wanted to be like, Mom, don't go watch that shit. Like you're gonna think about all the traumas you've ever had.
Yeah. No, I'm telling my mom not to.
I've been telling people all day. Sorry, but like.
No, you're good. No, my mom was texting me beforehand. She was like, "Hey, I know you guys are gonna go see it on the channel, but you want to go see it with me? Because that's one of the things that my mom and I do." But I'm like, I'm gonna tell my mom not to go see that. My mom, that opening scene, like my mom couldn't handle when we went and saw Multiverse of Madness together. The scene where Wanda, because that was a real scene too, but it wasn't exploitive. But there was a scene in Multiverse of Madness where she's dreaming she's with her boys. Mm-hmm. And then she wakes up and remembers that they're gone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now that made me cry in that because, and that was even closer to me having lost my sister. But it's because I dream about her all the time.
Yeah.
And then I wake up and I'm like, oh, she's dead. You know? And so like that was triggered. My mom and I, when we saw that my mom will not, if my mom sees that opening scene, my mom's going to have to leave the theater. Yeah. Like, she's not going to be okay.
Right. Well, and that's also, but the difference between you can tell a story, right? Not everything has to be, people can die in fiction, right? You know what I'm saying? Very heartbreaking, brutal, rip your heart out. Oh, my God. Dude, I mean, Game of Thrones, The Red Wedding, we literally get...
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And everyone was like, oh my God, it was so amazing, right? Even though it's one of the most horrible things that you can possibly think of to drum up to put into a show, right? Because we're talking about fiction and fictional characters. And
the boy in the striped pajamas
shit
still kills me.
No.
Still kills me.
You're going to see that.
Still
you're not going to see talking trees and raccoons.
But I'm just saying it's the whole deal of, regardless, I'm not trying, I will never be on the fence of like, you need trauma in a movie sometimes, and it doesn't have to be exploitive trauma, right?
Yes, that's where it comes in.
But it's because that goes into, if no characters get to go through any traumas anymore, we're gonna have some boring fucking characters.
That's literally that's what we were talking about earlier, though, with like the people that are making the traumas in Endgame and Infinity War compared to this. Like, no, bro, like Infinity War had traumas. We understand those traumas.
I know all these fictional characters being fictionally snapped away. Like, it's a little like when Tom Holland's blipped away and he's saying like, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so. I shed a tear. I was sitting there like, damn. But in my mind, I'm not sitting here like, damn, Tom Holland is fading away right now. Or Tom Holland faded away 4 years ago.
It's like that fourth wall is torn down from your side.
Movies are still going to have traumas. Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying take traumas out of movies, and that's not what they're saying. I'm saying I think it's morbidly weird to take a friend's death and adapt it to that movie. That's what I'm saying. No one's saying take traumas out of movies, because that's the meat and potatoes sometimes of a film. I mean, the story, the plot, what pushes the story along, everything like that. No one's saying that.
Yeah, it's insulting to act like we don't get that.
Right, like again, that's why I always say don't insult my intelligence. I get it.
It's degrading, really, and then just the energy shifting from the first movie to the second movie, like we were saying earlier, like I literally have told so many people today, like, if you are dealing with any form of trauma or any form of just grief, I do not recommend this movie. I had to tell so many moms, like, I would not take my little boy to go see this. Like, I would not sit KJ down and be like, here you go, watch this movie.
Right.
It's not the same feeling that you get from the first.
And see, that's what really sucks about this movie overall for me, is that, like, if you kept like all the Namor scenes the way they were, right? Yeah. But you have him do something, and then it is T'Challa who comes up. Mm-hmm. The T'Challa we know, right? Yeah. And even him fighting, it's like, Namor's terrifying. Like T'Challa goes and Namor gets a cheap shot, right? And hits him and but basically displays his power on an enemy like T'Challa for a second, right? It's like, you're even scarier now. Right. I would have loved to have seen that conflict play out between the two of them. Because honestly, like, and that's what I mean about, sure, he didn't, for a protagonist-antagonist role, she didn't question a lot of what he was. She didn't beat him philosophically. She beat him in a random weird fight and said, stop fighting, and he said, okay. Right? It didn't feel like it made a lot of sense to me, and it would have been way better to see T'Challa, a king, who's not in the middle of grieving his whole family, them having conflict as leaders. You know what I mean?
Yes. Like in the comics.
Yeah, like I would have loved to have seen it play out, but instead we got a really...
I mean, it's almost like they're like, don't think about this movie too hard. Everything makes sense if you really don't think about it as a whole.
If you think about it, it makes perfect. If you don't think about it, it makes perfect sense.
She just cut off his Red Bull supply at the end. She's like, "Bitch, you ain't got wings no more." That was it.
That scene low-key cracked me up because just her face alone was just like, "Got your wings, bitch."
It was pretty funny.
Like, oh, God.
And this is a side note, but I definitely thought.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I kind of giggled. You know, you see him come out of the water and he's got his little baby wings, and I was like, this is almost comical. And then they make the rattlesnake sound, and I was like, whoa. I'm saying everything with this guy was amazing. It's just it didn't reflect. Wakanda didn't bring it in this movie.
Yeah.
This movie was everything that wasn't Wakanda was so much cooler.
It should have been called Wakanda Never. Wakanda Forever. Like
it was just very. It was very sad. Everyone was grieving. It didn't feel like the real Wakanda from the comics, right?
No.
It didn't feel like even a complete nation.
Didn't even feel like the Wakanda from the first movie.
That's all I heard in that movie.
Right.
From the height that the first movie ended on.
Yeah.
And like what they were doing and everything, and then with even seeing it like in Endgame and everything, and then to come to this, it just felt like such a steep drop of what Wakanda is supposed to be.
But tell me I'm wrong. I'm bringing up like again the first scene, the what is their damn nation called?
Like Namor's people.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Talakon.
Yeah, the first time they showed up. And there's just, you hear a song playing. I don't know if, I thought it was, obviously background music for the scene.
Yeah.
And then everyone just starts walking off the fucking boat. They're hypnotized like a siren call.
That shit was beautiful.
I was like, whoa, they are terrifying, right?
No, even that first scene, them niggas terrifying.
Well, whenever Okoye stabs the one, right? And basically deals lethal blows and they just stand back up. I'm like, every scene y'all are in is so good to me. Yes, the city was a little underwhelming, but I'm saying they set a mood that I want to see so much more of.
Yeah.
But then anytime it would rotate back to Wakanda, it was just
no. The people of Talakon were great. Namor was great. That first scene, like you said, the hypnotizing, that was all great. Namor's power. I even liked the flashback scene of him, the younger him. Going up and, establishing his power even then, establishing that he's been like this. This is not new. I like the time, how long they established that he has been alive.
That was cool.
Talakon, the city itself, as was like I said, was underwhelming, but the people of Talakon were great. I have no complaints with the people of Talakon at all. I mean, that was, like I said, that was never really a question at the beginning of the film anyway, because like Ryan Coogler said, they've been thinking about Namor since 2017. So Namor was always going to be.
Right, but I say even that actor, man, he killed it.
Yeah, Tanaka's great. Like he really did. He killed it. He did a very good job playing Namor. Like I said, I'm interested to see what they do with Namor more in the future once I'm not as jaded with Marvel right now. But in the future, I'm interested to see what they do more with Namor. I mean, like, we all know going towards Secret Wars, everything that Namor plays, he's, with the Cabal and trying to stop the incursions and then getting kicked out of the Illuminati and everything like that. Like, there's just, he plays a role. So it'll be interesting to see him move forward. But for me, I was just like, it was dope. It was dope. Especially the zipping, like how fast he was, how agile he was in the air.
Oh, they made him look terrifying.
They did.
Yeah, how he was taking out, the Wakandan ships and things like that, and it was dope. Yeah. And too, how menacing they did make him, like walking up on, or stepping up on the Queen the way he did, and saying, if you mention us to anyone, we will do X, Y, and Z, Or like when
Namor was established to me when they were looking for vibranium, and then dude lost vitals and he was gone. And then they checked back again and she was screaming. I was like, oh yeah, it's a bad motherfucker. They fuck it.
Namor was great.
They got.
Does his wings grow back? I would assume they would. I don't know if I don't know how you're doing that without his wings. I would assume.
And it's only one wing he was missing, right?
Otherwise, he's gonna have to fly in a circle.
Yeah.
Well, he was only. You saw there. He tried to use them at the end. He only used one. He only used one to launch at Suri. So
yeah,
Kellen White, biology teacher.
answer that. Was that last super chat there? And then get into some of these comments.
Veli Superb, we appreciate the super chat. It's not about. It said a quote from it. It's not about you. The ancient one, learn Ryan.
Yeah, that's right. It's not about you. It's about the wider story here.
Learn Ryan. Ryan Coog.
Let's tackle some of those comments there.
Need to learn. Ryan Coog need to learn. Ty Love You said, man, I can watch that, or can't watch that movie. I don't know. Black Moonhawk said, Matt Matthews facts. Official Liam G said, love the scene of the Dora bringing in the French terrorists to the UN.
Oh yeah, no, that was great. I love seeing Wakanda flexing their power like that, bringing them in, and then showing like even Ramonda's speech there, everything she was saying, like, we would hate to have to flex power on, like when she was talking about France, and she was talking, who was the other dude? Where was he from? I forgot where he was from.
France.
But when she was talking directly to them, like, no, that whole scene was dope.
No, I think it was just a table of the United Nations or some shit.
Yeah, but like, I'll give him that one. The same thing you said there. That scene, why it was so cool to me, is there were a couple moments where, because it's so over the fucking top, right? Wakanda just marches these soldiers in the middle of a meeting, sets them down.
Yeah.
But it like that, and I've mentioned this to you guys last night. That scene where they have the fucking big ass shades on, black shades, and they're sitting by the car, right? That is straight out of a comic run. It is.
Yeah.
But it was two homeless guys were talking as you look up and see the nice ass car. Two women standing there looking just way fucking out of place, right? Yeah. And they're like, that's the Dora Milaje. Like, they travel with, the Wakandan king. And what's he doing here? And whatever. Like, they had moments that were really comic book based, right? But those are the only, like, 2 times.
You are giving them some great credit, I'm telling you, on that comic book. Because for me, it's just like, cool, you did that, but...
Right.
Where's the rest of it?
No, I'm just saying it was the vibes of, like that's
we've
what
seen
Black
them
Panther
do that in Thor. Yeah, we saw them
like,
do that in Thor: Love and Thunder, but putting shit on the panels, and that was a shit movie too.
No, yeah, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like that was the moments where Wakanda felt strong and felt
you're
like the
there
comic book
them.
Wakanda.
That's just one that there was. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know.
I mean, and maybe this is just because I am a woman, but there were some like moments that I thought were cute that. Like for example, the dorm scene. I thought that was a really cute moment between Shuri and Okoye. You know what I mean? I thought that was super funny, and like I thought it was really sweet that Okoye is kind of on Shuri's side and trying to tell the queen like she has to go through this grief. Like I thought that was really empowering, which I know we said in the past. Like this whole movie was set up to be basically focused on women empowerment, but the way they displayed it, I did like that. That's probably the only positive thing I can really say about the movie was just how they incorporated that. I thought that.
But see, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. When we have these conversations, when we have these conversations, we talk about representation. We talk about who's empowering who or whatever. It's never to diminish one community that's getting attention because another's not. In the first Black Panther film, everything that they introduced, it was elevated on the same level the way Wakanda's supposed to be. Everybody felt included in the film, and that's just because the lack of male representation is here, and the lack of T'Challa being here as representation for what he stands for, does not then mean we don't want to see women empowerment. Does not then mean we don't want to see the representation from Tanakh. And I saw the comment somebody said Namor is not Hispanic, he's Atlantean. You're yelling at the wrong people. I didn't make the movie. He's Hispanic in the film. Yeah. So that representation that's there, we want to see that representation. Like so when we say like because I know Corey was like, well, just because it's like that's for me it was good to see for women empowerment and things like that's probably one of the only good things. Again, we're not saying that it's not a we don't want to see all that. We do want to see all of those things. I'm so glad that. I'm glad, that women felt included and felt represented, and I hope for the Hispanic community that they felt represented in that film. I really do.
You just don't have, like you're saying, you don't have to take away from one.
Yeah, you don't have to take one to elevate the
all
other.
of these groups could have been uplifted positively, and we could have, and we could have still had the main character the way we needed to, and it could have all been like that from the jump if we just would have stuck to the original script.
Because the first movie, women were presented as strong, as were the men, and they were presented hand in hand working together. And that was a beautiful thing to put out there. Yeah. But instead, in this, it's that, like, it can only be one, or it's like you can only have one black hero at a time. It can only be the black men, or it can be the black women. Like, exactly. You know, the white superheroes, you get all of them. But it's like, there's a lot of one at a time when it comes to this specifically. And it just, it's just so blatantly obvious.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love that I saw it, I just don't like the circumstances of, like, why we're just now seeing this connection with them and why we're, you know what I mean? Like, but it was beautiful moments, like, you know, and I, again, like, you know, when, you know, Mother Queen was talking to Sherry in the lab about becoming the Black Panther and, like, just grieving in general, I thought that was so beautiful because, you know, it's hard. How do you help your daughter, your only child that you have left, grieve while ruling a whole nation that also has to grieve? Yeah. You know, so there was moments that they played that were great, but in the back of your head, you're just like, we didn't have to have this conversation.
Could have been avoided.
You know what I mean? Like,
could have all been avoided.
It was just it could all been avoided, and it was just unnecessary. And I think that's what made it even sadder. And like, I'm so close to my parents, and like, I don't know. I just, for a child that young to just bury your parents and now your brother, and it's just, that would just be a lot.
How's Chadwick's wife feeling? How do you guys think? Like, we all know how we felt in that opening scene and how hard it was for us.
I can only imagine how she
How did she feel? How do you think his family felt watching that? Do you think that they enjoyed that? Because I don't think that they did.
Yeah.
But see, I don't know. I kind of agree, but I also maybe think, like, you know, we saw in the theater, there were plenty of people that saw and thought that everything was a good decision with that movie. They were clapping, and they were all about it, and it's like, because I don't know if you heard me, but right when everyone started doing it, it was slow starting and kind of came from around. And when it got towards us, I was like, "Oh, you don't really got to fucking do that." It wasn't that great.
They started clapping after the mid-credit scene. Had there been no mid-credit scene, no one was clapping because the credits had been going for a minute. Then they got the mid-credit scene. Then after the mid-credit scene, they clapped. They clapped because they're brainwashed into a future of TJ. That's what it is. It was Marvel's way of saying, "Hey, don't leave yet. Now you can leave after you've clapped and you've understood what we're doing here now. After we made you, we kicked you in the dick and the vagina, whatever the fuck you are. After we've kicked you in all that shit, and you have to sit here and watch this film. After that, then we're gonna shine the shiny keys in your face to show you the future of the whatever we're trying to do with the Black Panther franchise, and then boom,
well,
that's
what
would
have gotten applause? A Doom clip. If we got a doctor,
no.
We would have been losing our shit.
Yes, but then it takes away from the emotional pull of the film.
I mean, fuck how much
Dr.
this
Doom.
film meant. This film could have offended me 6 ways to Sunday, and you put Doom at the end of it. Fucking this was worth it.
Yeah.
That's why
deadass. They could have threw Doom at the end, and I would have been like,
yeah, we would have been like, oh yeah, is that Ryan Gosling?
Let's fucking go. Yeah, we would have been here sitting here like, what do y'all think? Where y'all think Doom in next? That's what we would have been in here doing. I think they know that too, though. Like,
but see, that's the problem for me is in a Black Panther Wakanda centric film, the things I get excited to talk about are the villains. And then another villain we wanted to see, right?
Yeah,
it's nothing related to the Black Panther herself or any of Wakanda. Do I have like, oh my god, I really was excited to see this scene? No.
No, there's nothing that I can see.
Everybody but Wakandans and the main characters of this franchise, sans the main one, made this movie any better. Yeah. It was just sad Wakanda, bro.
They're going nowhere with Wakanda right now. They just destroyed Wakanda. They made it look weak. That's
what I was saying. I don't know what could be next. Like, they wanted to leave on that little cliffhanger of who wants to challenge me for the throne, but it's like and unless they somehow introduce just some no nigga there is capable of challenging M'Baku for that throne, because even in the comics he is the second next man next to T'Challa, like of Wakanda. He's the second best or whatever. So it's just, I don't see what they did that for. And then it's like you said, or even I said in the beginning, Wakanda's flooded. Like, even, I mean, if they were wanting to, I feel like Namor should still be in his same position. Like, they're drilling for vibranium. Like, he's still gonna want Wakanda to help him out. So I just don't see nothing progress. Yeah, nothing got solved. Nothing progressed. The queen they now have a teenager as a queen.
Yeah.
I mean,
who's going to Haiti anyway?
I guess I was about to say. I guess if M'Baku becomes king, then they don't have a queen.
And then that was.
I just don't.
I
Shit don't make sense.
Like, okay, now he's obviously gonna be the next Black Panther, and is she still queen? Is she just not gonna be there? Like,
see, that's the confusing part. And the last thing to me is that, like, you have trivialized. You've put. This might even be the last real hit for me. Is you trivialized real life situations by putting them in your movie, right? You made a mockery of this, in my opinion. You went for the easy shots. We saw either Black Death or, every person with any sort of pigment has no parents, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous. And then, fuck, I forgot where I was going with that.
Then you have little TJ.
And it's just like you see all these things, and it's just every trope is played, and I don't know, man.
Nakia is a single mother now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just all that.
Yeah.
Go over to your auntie house, like.
Yeah, no, it's all.
Oh no, that's what it was. I'm so sorry. It just hit me again. That scene.
Jump into those. Go ahead, but after you said, jump into the chat.
Just her coronation. They trivialized it. They even made the leadership of Wakanda. They made a joke out of it, right?
Yeah.
So after you see, sorry, that was my whole thing. When you see all of these tropes on Black Death and Black parenting throughout the entire movie, then it gets to, we're having a new queen, we're rebuilding. It's a joke. Mm-hmm. It's like, damn, you can't even take the royalty of Wakanda seriously. Like, is that everything's just free? I don't know. They just fucked with their whole thing to me.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, we have Brian Gosling here saying, what I want to know is, when is Namor going to come back into MCU projects, and when is TJ going to be involved in the future of the MCU? Like, where is this heading? Yeah, I really don't want Namor to just go back into the scene and stay there. I need Namor in this story more.
Yeah. I think he will be.
And I don't really care when TJ comes in.
Yeah, I think with the response of how much people like Namor, I feel like they're going to find some way to bring him back.
Unless they want to time skip it after Secret Wars. That's why they're introducing all these younger heroes.
Maybe.
And they get a little bit of an older TJ, I guess. But, like, that's so far in the future.
Yeah.
And again, I'll just fucking recast him at that point.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's not happening. Like I know, like I said, I've been quiet a lot of this stream, but that's not happening. Like, anybody that comes into any more comments sections or tweets anything, or that is literally not happening. Like, don't ever come back in a comment section and say, give it time. T'Challa's. They have set the tone. T'Challa is not coming back. Like, that's it. It's done. It's, you waited. You got him. That's it.
Yeah.
He's not coming back.
And we got Matt Matthews here who said, the black male superhero impact was too powerful. Disney does not want that to influence little black boys and men, so they made sure to change it entirely this time. The first movie was a display of powerful black men and women working in unity. That is why it was so very successful. And yeah,
Right.
I absolutely agree.
Right. And then if you know...
It just wasn't... It was a happy Wakanda. It was a place you wanted to see and learn about in a very rich and detailed, carefully made culture.
Yeah.
And this movie was sad Wakanda.
Yeah.
It was nothing.
So sad.
It was sad and weak.
Other than them repeatedly saying, we're in Wakanda. I wouldn't... You could be anywhere because you didn't highlight shit.
Anything in Wakanda. I didn't know. There was points where I'm like, are we in Wakanda or are we in Haiti? What's happening?
Right,
yeah. I've seen this too. Obviously, I shared it on my Instagram story and things like that. But you've got, Kevin Conroy that did pass away. And that is the Batman voice that we all grew up with in the Batman animated series. But, to not even... if you've been watching the stream, I'm in no funny mood. But I'm even trying to be funny. So since he was amazing as Batman, amazing as Batman.
Yeah. He's my Batman.
His iteration might transcend any iteration.
Yeah, to me.
So does that mean then that since Kevin Conroy has passed away, that we cancel Robert Pattinson's Bat series. We don't do any Batman spin-offs.
No more video games, no more animations, none of that.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne is done. Batman's gone because, you know...
he is Batman. So
but that shit's not going to happen because he's the Dark Knight, but he's not the Dark Knight, you know what I mean? So...
Right, so it's like, what do you do then? The logic behind it just it doesn't add up.
It doesn't hold up, no. It's inconsistent.
Let's see here. Black Moonhawk said they should have given the Black Panther to the Russo brothers. They were the only ones who got T'Challa / the Black Panther right. Yeah.
Didn't Civil War? Correct me if I'm wrong, Chad. Civil War was written by McFeely, Marcus McFeely, right? I believe it was. And if so, yeah, bring them back. Everybody's been saying that.
Yeah. You know, we have Pookie Wood saying the real villains of this movie are Nate and Ryan. We need She-Hulk to break the fourth wall and give an ass whooping, and I agree. Absolutely.
I think that's the only time you'll ever hear Trey admit that we need She-Hulk back.
Hey, we have Deadpool coming, but I'm not trying to wait.
We can get her back for a couple of days.
Oh my god.
Music video or two. Just
Raymond 2000. First of all, he said thank you, Darius. He's been going off tonight. And then he said, hearing what they did in this film, it solidified my stance that they will retire T'Challa like a sports jersey.
Yeah.
Well,
That's what we've been talking
but they'll just bring in T'Challa.
Yeah.
Son of T'Challa.
Thank you, Sir Yuri G. Yeah, you know, a lot of, again, I don't know what can be said that has not been said of options that they can do.
Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, and then Hungry Almighty said, I was already mad today when hearing about the T'Challa dying scene, and then I heard about Kevin Conroy. I was done for the day. Yeah, it's not been a happy. God of War has been the only thing keeping me going right now, dude.
You gotta keep bringing that up when.
It's been the only thing. I mean,
I want to play it so bad, but she doesn't understand that you can just download it. She ordered it on Amazon. I have to wait a week to play.
But yeah, no, needless to say, that's the only thing that's been keeping me up, because all this stuff's just depressing. And then let's see here.
Itching to play it.
There's Raymond saying, I can tell you for a fact my aunt refuses to see this movie because she's still dealing with her own parents' death. She saw the trailer and was like, nope. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, let's go back to that where Nate Moore was like, oh yeah, I can probably trigger some people. I didn't think about that. Yeah,
we still hope you go see the movie, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, still hope you support it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, Ricardo Wood said they had the nerve to try to compare Suri to Namor like they're the same. Yeah, and that's, I'm telling you, that's not a misogynist statement.
No.
They made him a fucking monster this whole film.
If it was Captain Marvel,
his introduction
we wouldn't be saying that,
was,
how is she going to fight him?
Anyone whose introduction is stopping a helicopter in mid-flight, spinning it around like a Super Mario on Super Smash Bros. Throw with pinpoint accuracy, just... Nah, and then you want to expect me, the techie kid, gets a suit and can all of a sudden fight better than him. I just don't believe it. Next to the fucking water,
Yeah.
Thanks for the super chats, guys.
Yeah,
for real.
Yeah, it's always awesome.
We appreciate it.
And Pookie Wood said, y'all said it earlier, he didn't even think about it triggering anyone. We should be able to watch and feel some kind of way about... if you watch that and then escape reality to Wakanda, nope.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Yeah, and then PTG said in one sentence, you say Marvel left it up to you guys to make the movie or not. Another sentence, we had to make a movie. No, you didn't.
Yeah, that's been the thing too, that everybody's been saying. It's like, they went in. It's just, again, it's the track record for, everybody knows, if you go to our playlist of Recast, it's the receipts. Everything's laid out. Everything from month to month, week to week, day to day of what Nate Moore has said. It's all laid out in a track record here, This is the same person that said, I'm not going to hedge my bets. You won't see T'Challa. We decided within minutes. This is that same person. So... you have to take everything that this man says with a grain of salt. And you have to laugh at it, honestly. That's the only way to honestly take anything that this man says. You can't take anything that he says seriously, but just to, right. You have to laugh. And I get it, he's a businessman and he has to do but at the same time, he's also the token. Him and Kukla are the tokens over there, so he gets out and he handles, the BP stuff. But it's like Nate Moore just from week to week. And then the tap dancing around E-Man's questions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But just, I mean, even think about, I'm seeing in the comments here, one of the comments is about, children seeing this film.
Yeah.
And no, I'm not, we don't have to make it all about the kids or, hear that
Oh,
response.
fuck that
But
comment. Yes, it is.
I'll be real honest, if I've got my kid with me and my kid loves Black Panther, loved the first one, he's like, oh shit, we get a number 2, let's go. And you're just a working dude, you don't exactly know how this is going to play out. You don't know. So you get your fucking popcorn, you get your drink, and you sit down and the opening scene is his heart, him flatlining.
Yeah.
And your kid is like, Dad, what does that mean? And then it's like, well, here's the coffin. Fuck, like.
And you know what? I was
and that's how you go in. You're like, oh my god, okay. Yeah. And your kid's just like.
This was something I said to myself last night. Yeah. I was sitting there last night and it was just uncomfortable. I've got extremely uncomfortable fidgeting in the seat because the coffin was on the screen far too long for me. They showed it so many times, way too long.
Had to drag Shuri off the thing.
Had to drag Shuri off of it. Even had it being, lifted up into the ship, and then it turns around as it slowly turns, and then the camera's going up with it, and then you see the Black Panther, It was just like, I said to myself...
Raymond, they don't just show the coffin, they hang out with it.
I said to myself when the coffin was on screen, I was like, as long as it was, I was like, okay, we get it. Can we get the coffin off the screen? Why the fuck is the coffin still on the screen?
Yeah, and no, you don't just see it. Like he said, it lifts up, and it's laying down, and then it faces up, where it's the Black Panther symbol as the coffin rises up. Again, they have to fucking rip Shuri off of his, like, oh no, they go hard, and it's dead silence.
And this
fucking
is like
awkward dead silence for a long period of time.
This is like the first 20 minutes of the movie, guys.
Yeah, no, the movie literally starts, T'Challa dies.
Yeah.
Here is a fucking funeral. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So imagine just going with your kid and you're like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then you get past it. There's not really, okay, there's no more death. We got past it. It's emotional, but whatever. La-da-da-da. And then it's like Ramonda just fucking floating face down in the water dead. And it's like, oh my god, never mind.
Yeah.
Yes, and then her coffin, I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I wasn't in the theater for any of that part.
Yeah, you
because I don't even know if we really, for those that don't know, because I don't know if we said anything about it, because I might have skipped over it, but I did. I left. I did leave. I left. I walked out because I had to have an intermission because I'm like,
yell bullshit. We were okay.
No, I didn't yell. I wasn't gonna ruin the film. Yeah, for everyone else involved, but I had to leave, especially when she died, and you're sitting there watching Shuri scream for her mother. Okoye's performing CPR with the Komodo beads while crying simultaneously with watching, Io look at, watching Nakia look up at Okoye while she's performing the CPR, then having to tell Okoye she's gone, she's passed, she's dead. I said, bro, this is too.
Second person she couldn't say.
Yeah. I said that this is too much. This is too much death for me. This is, and it's getting weird. I was like, I can't. I have to have I can't sit in here. So her funeral. I missed all of that. I didn't. So I didn't see any of that.
So y'all hear, there's a second funeral with a coffin. And they bury them and have a service and then discuss. One a fictional death, one Chadwick.
Yeah.
Like the only time they would pan away from Chadwick's or T'Challa's coffin is to show real life pictures of Chadwick painted and zoom in on them and then back to his coffin.
And again, there's multiple points of long stretches of silence. Or just silence with unsettling sounds.
Yeah, Raymond. There's two.
It's just they just wanted us to sit in it.
Yeah,
they wanted us to sit in that grief, that trauma, those moments.
I mean, if they didn't have the 2 funerals, this movie would have been...
It would have been 45 minutes long.
I mean, it'd still probably been 2 fucking hours. But, I mean, it was a huge chunk was just devoted to funeral time.
Yeah.
And fucking... That's what I'm saying. I keep saying this, you guys, and I guess you don't believe me. It is dope-ass Namor shit, sad Wakanda.
Yes.
Dope-ass Namor shit, another fucking funeral, or a general getting kicked out, or the princess is stolen, or another person died, or my dad's dead. Like...
No, when Riri said, when Riri said, and my dad's dead, I said all these tropes, bro. Like, we're just literally watching... Yeah. Like, and again, I'm trying to, for people keep saying, like, it's not that bad. Like, we deal with tragedy and death in the MCU. Please point out another MCU film to me outside of Infinity War. And again, I get the tragedy there. I get the draw there. I get the pull to the emotion there. But point another film out to me where we are just watching everyone die. Like everyone, like the where it's that franchise's film too. Like even in Iron Man's 3, or let's even take it to Cap's films. The 3 films he has. Winter Soldier, what does he have? Doesn't he have 3 films? Does Cap have 3?
Yeah, because Civil War was also a Captain America film.
Captain America.
That's right. That's right. Civil War, Winter Soldier, and his first film. Like. We deal with Cap's story. We have emotional pools. There's things that, if you cry during any of Cap's stuff, there's things that could have made you cry. There's things that could have made you feel, like emotionally attached. But that emotion, that stuff in that is so different than the stuff that's going on in Wakanda Forever. So I'm saying, like, point out in any of those Cap films for me, or any films in the 30, however many films in the MCU, where we're just like, oh, that person's dead. This franchise, this person from this franchise is dead. Now this person from this franchise is dead. Like, we're not watching just countless people from Captain America's franchise die. We're not watching countless people from Iron Man's franchise die. Like, we didn't watch Pepper die. Like, Pep was there the whole time. Like, again, it could have been one of those things where Angela Bassett was like, hey, I want to get out before this gets real bad. It's not like she doesn't have other things going on. She has other TV shows and things that she's doing. So it could have been one of those things. Or it also could have been one of those things where they were just like, hey, we're going to continue to kill characters. We're going to continue to play on the tropes. We're going to continue to make you feel things emotionally. Like, but that's just me, bro. Like, it was just... Again, when am I going to see Quantumania? Of course I'm going to go see Quantumania. I'm going to go see Quantumania. I do want to see Quantumania. There are things that I'm still invested in the MCU that I want to see. Like right now, if somebody asked me tomorrow, like, or today, or like anytime soon, like, do you want to? Let me put it this way: the little break is going to be good. Yeah. The little Marvel break is going to be good until February. It's going to be a nice little break because I do have things I want to see in Quantumania and things like that, but when I go see Quantumania, it's not going to be this. It's not going to be these feelings. So, I'm just like whatever, bro.
We get new super chat from the Bruda Cinema Sin for this movie is going to be lit.
We appreciate you, bro. We appreciate you so much.
Yeah, that's his third. That's his third super chat, man. That's dope.
Bruda.
Thank you.
You a real one.
Appreciate you, bro. What else is going on there in the chat?
Like other people, other characters in the MCU who have lost a lot of people. Thor, and he has, but at the same time, like none of them actually died in real life. And Loki's died how many times? And Loki's still coming back.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. Yeah,
going off of that, that's a part of his story line. It's
not something they just shoehorned in there.
Exactly.
Yeah, Ragnarok happens. Like that's supposed to happen. Like I get, and that's you can use Thor. You can say, yeah, well, Thor has lost a lot, and we saw Thor, but like Thor went through his grieving process, but Thor also doesn't even know right now that his brother is still alive. Right. You've got the rumor, even though she is a villain, you've got the rumor that Hela's supposed to be coming back. He's still got New Asgard and his people there. You know what I'm saying? It's just like
we got nothing. We got no, and like going back to previous conversations, we don't know what's going on with Wakanda. We don't know if it's under repair, if they're like we just saw them coming back to Wakanda, and that was it. So we left with literally nothing. We came in with nothing, and we left with nothing.
Yeah. Who's next on there?
Let's see here. Ashura's joined us now. He is not enjoying this movie.
I'm sure.
Said Ryan should have stepped away and never come back. He can't be rational or fight for a recast. He can go back and do his racist trope somewhere else.
I agree.
And then Grey Knight said at Planet Fanatics, perhaps T'Challa dying off screen because he was too proud was a rebuttal for Boseman hiding his illness when the movie was in early production. I feel like Marvel would be petty. It was his. No, nobody on that set would have allowed something like that to happen.
No,
none of the writers would have done it. Like they tried to make it a weird thing, a thing for their friend.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't make a Black Panther. They said, we gotta make a thing for our friend, and Marvel wants Namor to show up.
I think because Ryan Coogler is a writer, he does do a lot of trauma. We know that's his niche. I think this is the only way he can deal with it, honestly. And he just made it super weird for everyone.
Yeah, like I said, it just seems cheap, though.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, he just should have gone to therapy like everyone else is doing. It's 2022, guys. It's a new thing. Everyone's doing it. It's great.
We're just not directed.
This was a hundreds of $1 million therapy
yeah,
session.
like this is
essentially.
Cornelius said Coogler honestly needs to go make horror thriller films. He has Jordan Peele beat in that genre already.
Dead ass.
True.
Yeah.
I didn't like Up.
I see Black Moonhawk said they should have given the Black Panther to the... we reread that one. Nicholas Jenkins, appreciate you being here, bro, said Ryan Coogler for horror movie, anyone. Honestly, he might be able to tackle that perfectly. Pookie Wood said the real villains of this movie are Nate and Ryan. We need She-Hulk to break the fourth wall and punch them. Yeah. Raymond said Talcon and Namor sound dope. They were dope. Ricardo Wood said this has me more interested for Namor's future. Yep, exactly. I mean, because there was, that's all. Yeah, that's what it was for. It's to promote Namor's future and things like that. So I'm saying this correctly. I think it's Teo Love You says, does his wings grow back? I think we read that too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they would. I think they do. They're going to. Gray said he looked terrifying in some tidy whities. Honestly, no. The way they had Namor looking, they were a scary people.
I think it worked
perfectly. Especially in that.
That was done well.
Especially in that first scene, the music, coupled with the hypnotizing of everyone. Yeah, the siren call on everyone. While they're just here you can only see them here poking out of the water, and you're just watching countless soldiers walk off the edge of the ship while you got all these people from Talcon just.
And the scene is dark too. So
and
you don't even know that they're blue. Like you literally just see eyes poking out. Of the water.
Yeah. And they definitely. Well, they definitely established how strong these people are as well. And it's going to be interesting to see Talacon's interaction with the wider MCU, because you've got the UN and you've got the government now in the MCU that's thinking that, hey, this is the Wakandans that are breaking with us and with and things like that. And so that's going to be interesting to see that. But it was established too on even the bridge scene with Okoye fighting Atuma. Atuma was giving it to her.
Yeah,
he really was. Atuma was giving it to her, and she, she was trying really hard to keep up with him, but it was just it was showing how strong. Yeah.
That was another scene that made me mad though, just because you reminded me when they're her and Atuma are having their little back and forth, right? And when she grabs him and she basically is like, she says, "I'm going to kill you." She's like, "I'm going to take your soul," or something like that.
Yeah.
But then proceeds to just throw him off the boat into the water.
Yes.
Where he's from.
Yes.
She didn't stab him.
Yes.
She didn't
do
nothing.
My gosh, I forgot.
She was like,
that.
"I'm going to kill you," or I think he literally said, "I'm going to take your soul," and then went into the fucking water. I was like, bro.
He told her he was going to take her soul, and she said, "No, I'm going to take yours." And yes. I thought the same thing. I was like, so you threw the fish back in his bowl? Like,
yeah, I was like,
yeah,
that's not how. Like,
I don't
it's
was...
This is catch and release. Like, I thought you were trying to catch him.
But then that just goes back to the whole question, like, why did we take it to their turf? Why were
that
we
doesn't
in the
make
middle?
sense.
It really doesn't.
It really didn't.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's the thing. A lot of it didn't. The people were dope. And I know to address the Namor and the tidy whities damn near, right? Like the actual comic book style hero. I mean, that's the thing. Namor, if you haven't seen it, he has this energy that is just like, you get his character. He comes up and he's not, if you're thinking villain, you're not, I mean, because he's like a antagonist is more of, because he comes up and he does look kind of goofy and he's friendly as shit and he's like, I love your nation. Your nation's amazing. I love my people. You know, so I'm going to protect my people and I'll murder your entire bloodline. Yeah. I mean, he catches you off with how intense he is.
Yeah, because he doesn't change how he's talking. He'll just be talking, and then all of a sudden he'll make a change to where, like, he literally will, like, get up on the person kind of to the side and, like, talk in their ear in, like, this intimidating way where he doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't, but he's just, like, blah, 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 talking, and then all of a sudden he's like, and I will come here, and I will kill you. And I will kill all your people.
Yeah, he literally said, I have more soldiers than your country has blades of grass.
Yeah,
kind of out of nowhere, too, because he was just like, get the reporters this and that. And like, what if we don't? He just literally goes and says it. And it's like, oh, fuck. Again, you know, he comes out of the water with these wings, and I'm like, this is going to be goofy. And then they make him sound like a fucking rattlesnake. And I was like, ooh, fuck, he is so dope.
Yeah, like, once you really get into the character, like, you don't really
I regretted nothing about Namor.
You're like,
I was like, dude is fucking wild.
And that's probably why he's so damn fast. I mean, it's just skin tight. Like,
yeah, he was good. D. Stizzle said, I originally wanted to see Namor introduced in an Invaders film or Fantastic Four film. And then official Liam G said, I love the scene of the Dora bringing in, I think, we talked about that one. Yeah, that was great, too. Black Moonhawk said, Matt Matthews facts. Ricardo said, that was an excellent scene. I'll give him that, too. We got we got Matt Mims that said, it will not be as successful as the first BP. No, it won't. Because as I've said before, the vibe around this film, it's not there.
The buzz is nowhere near what the first one was.
Not at all. Not at all. It's not there for the first one. Like I said, was a cultural movement. You had people buying out theaters. You had theaters packed out and everything like that. You had people dressing up for the event. Last night there was nothing of that. It was the only thing was the Warren was passing out posters, and I asked her, well, if T'Challa's not on it, I don't want one.
Yeah.
So.
He did check.
So I'm just like, the feel is not there. So it's definitely not going to do what that first one did.
No.
Taya Love You said, I did watch the clip of the dorm scene. I did enjoy that. Yeah, the dorm scene, we're saying the dorm scene was good. I thought Dominic Thorne, I thought she was really great.
She was, yeah.
T-Biz said, Disney and Marvel should be ashamed of themselves. Ricardo said, Will she capture Rhodey's eyes in Armor Wars, and he allows her to use Stark tech to make a new suit or something?
I say yes, because that's the only thing that would make sense at this point. Because in the comics, like Tony and Riri go face to face at one moment.
Yeah, see, they're going to have to use Tony in some way. Obviously, I don't see, as we've talked about, I do not see Robert Downey Jr. coming back for a series. I don't see that happening because, for one, what you'd have to pay him to get him in just for a series. So I don't see that happening. But I can see them using some type of AI type of maybe a recorded old message or something, or maybe some type of
they could use barf.
Actually, I think I was seeing that more for Armor Wars more than anything. Having Rhodey have some type of connection to Tony, having that emotional draw there between him and him losing his friend and everything like that. That they could play on that and have the AI of Tony show up that way with using old things of Robert Downey Jr. Because, like I said, I don't see him. But actually, I did say that since Armor Wars is a movie now, I could possibly see RDJ coming back for Armor Wars. for an appearance here. I don't know. Well, I don't know how they're gonna do that.
But I do, answering that question, I do think that's gonna be her before her series. I think that's gonna probably be where we'll probably see her next, just because in the series, her and Tony are very much in communication.
Yeah. Now, how much we're seeing Tony in her series, if at all, I don't know. Yeah. I have no idea. Brian Gosling said, or D. Stizzle said, I would say all the MCU projects have displayed comic panel shots. Yeah. T-Biz said, Brian, I don't know what they were talking about there. Raymond 2000 said, I think the family doesn't want any backlash, so I doubt they'll come out and say anything leaning toward negatives with this movie. That too. It'll be interesting. I don't think the 2020 special is out yet. I could be wrong. It might have come out this weekend. The 2020 special that she did, that's on Hulu, that Simone Boseman did. I agree with Raymond. I doubt she's going to come out and say anything negative about the film like that. But I do wonder, to the question that was asked earlier, how did she feel sitting through the first 15, 20 minutes of that film? How did she feel having to relive what she was present for? How did she feel having to literally watch her husband's, or listen to her husband's heartbeat fade slowly over a course of a painstaking dialogue? How did she feel watching that coffin being levitated into the sky, turning toward the screen in a slow motion type of way, like sitting in the audience, knowing the man personally, sitting there knowing that he had to sit through everything that he sat through with the fighting or battling cancer and keeping it on the low for them. Like, she talked about that. She said, for us, it was in 2020. We were dealing with COVID at the time and this and this and that. Just so, how did she, just the thoughts on that.
Like, the fact that they don't have kids and, she was, like, talking to Oprah about how, like, this is his legacy. And I wonder how she feels because, in a way, like, where is the legacy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, where is it? Because he's gone, and they made that very clear that he's gone. So
right.
Where is the legacy
it's not
now?
Living on.
Yeah.
Right. We've got Ricardo that said they also deleted the scene that was shown in the trailer of the two Black Panthers. Yes, they did. That was taken out as well. I noticed that last night. The first movie displayed... This is from Matt Matthews, sorry. The first movie displayed powerful black men and women working in unity, and that is why it was very successful. Yes, that's what Wakanda is. That's what it's supposed to be. Yeah. PTG said he's going to be king, I guess, and Shuri will continue to be the Black Panther. Now, talking about M'Baku and... Yeah. And the MCU has taken the precedence of the heart-shaped herb anyway. Like, if you're not from the line of Bathsheba, you're really not. You're not supposed to be taking the herb, but it's the MCU. Scroll down here. Hungry Almighty said, "You said the coffin was in a ship and sent somewhere." Don't know where the coffin... Did they bury the coffin? I might have been white.
They didn't show it.
They didn't show them.
They beamed
when
it
when it went up into the ship, that is when the title Wakanda Forever showed up on the screen. That
okay. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You jump right in, he dies, there's a long silent funeral scene, and then boom, Wakanda Forever, and the movie starts.
Yeah. But they put, like I said, they put the extra focus on the coffin being there. Ashura said, I feel it was an insult they give T'Challa a child like Boseman's wife not having a child with her, but Nakia like. Yeah, it was weird. C.D. Kelly said, this movie had to set up Phase 5 in the most subtle way. I don't think the story would change at all with Chadwick. I think he would have been sick in this movie regardless. Actually, no. The Ryan Coogler has talked about this. He has said, what the original script was going to be, and in the original script, it was a T'Challa-centered script. In his words, it was a T'Challa vehicle. It had nothing to do with T'Challa being sick. It had everything to do with focusing on T'Challa dealing with the past 5 years of the blip. Yeah. That's what it was going. Him dealing with the grief. Him dealing with this. Him dealing with having to now be the leader. Him dealing with having to open up Wakanda. It was going to deal with Wakanda or T'Challa in general. It was never going to put the king on a sick bed that Wakanda, the most technologically advanced nation, could not heal. So no, it was never that. We've got Ruben Thomas that said, to further build that friendship between Tony and Rhodey, Tony's daughter most definitely should call Rhodey Uncle Rhodes. That's what he's saying, to further build that relationship there. And we've got PTG that said Wakanda Forever not releasing in China because of the forehead kiss. Yes, it's the LGBTQ relationship.
Yeah, I saw that at the end. I was like, that's all it was? That's all it was?
It's the same fucking thing they freaked out about Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah, and I saw Lightyear. I was like, what the fuck were these people even talking about?
That
It was
forehead
so...
kiss was so adorable. What you talking about?
Andrew Ware said, we appreciate y'all taking the time to talk this movie out. We know it's exhausting talking about all of this, but it just shows how invested we all are. Yes, it is exhausting. It is exhausting talking about... that was very tired last night.
Yes.
So I appreciate you for that comment. Sir Yuri G said, Namor always had this asshole energy. Exactly. When it comes to protecting Atlantis, be it comic and now live action. Exactly. He always
it was more than just that. It was... If you wanted to sleep with your wife, he was going to tell you to your face. I mean, that's how many times he did with Sue where he's like, you don't deserve her.
Yeah.
I would be so good. I mean, he's literally like, I would be so good to your wife. You're a piece of shit. But it was like, he's walked in and started flexing about it. He's like, oh, you're Sue's husband? You're a piece of shit. I want your wife. Because that's Namor. He doesn't fucking care.
Namor doesn't care.
He is, a king and almost seen as a god to his people. He's not going to humble himself.
Since birth.
Yeah. He was the first one of his kind. Yeah. He's seen as a god for sure.
And he's Marvel's first mutant, dude. They love him. Namor has literally come in and just start talking shit. Why? Because he's a god.
He's great.
Yeah. The Brutus said, also sketchy and IDK if they did this on purpose. By making Namor an Atlantis Aztec/Mexican, it leaves room for the racists to giggle and say the spear chuckers are fighting the... no awareness. They could continue tropes or whatever. There were tropes that were continued on with Riri. So Chad said he's talking to Raymond. That's a good one, Raymond. Then we've got Chad that said they definitely could have made T'Challa King of the Dead. They definitely could have. There's so many things that the regular MCU fans just don't know that T'Challa can do, and raising the dead is literally one of them. So we've got, to scroll down here, Chad said, I wanted to see T'Challa and Namor battle on screen. Yeah, we all would have. Ricardo said, literally when he first came and met Shuri and the Queen, the first thing he does is judge them for exposing Wakanda's existence. Namor will forever speak his mind and do what he pleases. Yeah. Yes, he will. Hungry said, I can think of so many ways to bring T'Challa back if they decided to recast. Yes, if they decide. I mean, we all could. We all definitely could. But that was kind of one of the last ones there, and we'll kind of go through the little bit more. But one thing I do want to do before we close today's stream is, like I said, I wanted to kind of end it on a lighter note that's not so bad. So what I'm going to do here, since Q's not here, we'll just, and we're not representing anybody. We're not doing a giveaway right now or anything like that. We will still do more. But when we come back, this is our last live stream for the week. We don't come back to you guys until Monday. So once we've had time Monday to refresh and come back and boom, jump into the streams and things, we'll have more giveaways and things for you guys. And you guys should, those of you that did yours, you should be receiving that stuff. But anyway, so one of the things I wanted to do here was I'll have you three, and we'll do like maybe 2 rounds, first to 4. And it's just going to be you guys. I'm going to give you a movie quote from a superhero film, and you just have to say what hero it is that said that quote there. You have a bell there.
We only have 2 bells. Is the other one right above you?
I should have another bell. Well, here's 1 bell. But I should have a... Trey, give that to them, please. I should have another bell.
One over there from...
I have one.
Okay. I was like, I thought we had
Is there not
one
another one up there?
played.
There should have been another one up there, but maybe...
I believe we had 4. One for all of us.
I was going to say there should have been another bell up there.
I think... No?
Maybe not,
this
though.
one.
Maybe not, though. It's okay.
It's okay. You can share this one.
Well, sure. I'll try not to smoke. I'm sorry.
Just, no, you can't. So get out of here.
I feel like a giant next to you.
It's okay. I get
like,
that a lot.
I don't want to break you.
No, I get that a lot. I am like such a tiny, petite person.
Okay. So, chat, you guys are welcome to play along too if you guys want to say anything there. And that's honestly, before I even get into that, that is honestly, like I said, that's my thoughts on it. That's just my thoughts on the film. For me personally, it's not one I'll revisit. As I've said, you know, obviously the Namor stuff is cool, and Trey, and all of us have expressed how we think about what we think about Namor and everything like that. But for me personally, that is where I am on it. It's not one I'm gonna personally revisit. It definitely was an experience for me last night. One I don't want to experience in a fictional film again for Marvel. And if they thought that it was not triggering or it was a masterpiece, then
okay, sure.
Then maybe Marvel doesn't have their ear to the ground as well as some people may think that they do. And that would be including myself in that, thinking that Marvel has their ear to the ground because, Nate Moore said in that interview there Yeah, so anyway, that's for me. Any final thoughts from anybody on Wakanda Forever?
I think we said all that we have energy to say.
Yeah.
I mean...
So we've been shitting on a film for a while.
Yeah, let's just do better, Marvel. Let's just do better.
Yeah.
Alright, let's play this game, yo.
Let's do it.
Let me try to...
Pew, 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 pew. It's game time.
Okay. You don't get to look at my screen either. So don't try to look at my screen and cheat.
There.
I feel like that's not helping whatsoever.
Yeah, I can't see his whole computer screen.
Okay, blindfold for Trey.
Right.
Yeah, because he can see my screen. Okay. So I'll do the first one here.
Okay.
All right. The first one is going to be, the answer you seek shall be yours once I claim what's mine. Who said that?
That's Trey.
Oh, I have to name the character?
Yeah.
What were you trying to name?
Just the movie or project that it came from?
No. Name the character.
Well, I'm already breaking rules.
I don't know.
Is this just like any superhero, or is this just MCU?
MCU. I'm actually trying to find a different, better one there, because I need it to be MCU specific or superhero movies specific at least.
I don't know, man. That's a good angle, Trey.
You can forget that one.
Can you tell us the answer, or are you going to give us a same quote from the same movie?
Okay, actually, I'll give you a different one here. Okay. All right. Number one, and this one's kind of easy, but this one is, I believe there's a hero in all of us that keeps us honest. What, you can say what film that's from, or what character said that.
Captain America.
Wrong.
Fuck!
That's what I was going to say.
I was going to say the same thing.
I believe there's a hero in all of us that keeps us honest.
Don't let Captain America say some stupid shit.
Sounded like Captain America to me, yeah.
It's not Captain America.
Spider-Man?
Not Spider-Man. Well, Spider-Man what? Is it Spider-Man that's saying it, or are you asking, or are you saying it was a Spider-Man film?
Oh, that means
it's a Spider-Man film.
It is a Spider-Man film.
Specific one. It is Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Nope, and it was not Vision. Andrew did say it.
I think. Hold on. Is this person that said it a hero or just a character?
It's a character, and do not read the chat.
I'm not. I haven't seen. Is it Happy?
It is not Happy. Sir Yuri G's got it.
I keep thinking the same thing.
Dunye Thomas has got it.
Aunt May?
It is Aunt May.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
It is Aunt May. All right. And we'll move to the next one here. And the next one's going to be fourth wall breaks inside a fourth wall break. That's like 16 walls.
Deadpool?
That is Deadpool.
I don't even know if I can do that on YouTube, but
we go way back.
That one's
mic
too,
closer
that
to
one's
this,
too
guys.
easy. That one's too easy.
You say that until we can't fucking figure it out.
Right.
I
This
told
one-
y'all Wolverine's real name the other weekend, and
This one is it's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me. It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me. Movie or hero. It's not who I am underneath, but what I do that defines me.
can I get a hint?
You are in the right trilogy, Pookie Wood. Wrong movie, right trilogy. There's your hint, trilogy.
I'm gonna go with Tony Stark.
Not Tony Stark. Gray's got it. Sir Yuri G's got it.
That was in the new Batman, right?
It was not the new Batman.
Fuck.
Asher has got it. Kenny Pierce has got it. No, Pookie Wood. Not that one either. But you're still in the right trilogy. Asher got it.
I'm trying to think of trilogies here.
But did I get the character right?
Yes, I will give you the... Wait, who'd you say?
I said it's in the Batman movies.
Oh, yeah.
It is in the Batman movie.
Yeah, but which Batman movie?
I had said Robert Pattinson's new Batman, but that wasn't who it was. But it
Which
was still
Batman
Batman. Yeah, but
movies?
it's still Batman.
From the Dark Knight trilogies?
But which movie are we talking?
It is Batman Begins.
Batman Begins is correct.
There you go.
The next one here. So you've got 3. He's got 3. So he's got 2 more points. Just because someone stumbles and loses their path doesn't mean they're lost forever. Just because.
Sounds like every anime quote ever.
Not Aunt May. Just because someone stumbles and loses their path doesn't mean they're lost forever.
Was that an accurate accent to the character?
I think I did pretty good.
Was it Alfred?
It was not Alfred.
Stumbles and loses their path. That's the most anime ass fucking standard shonen
I
quote.
know I've heard it. I
I'm
just
thinking of accents now.
I thought I had it right.
Say it one more time.
Just because someone stumbles and loses their way doesn't mean they're lost forever.
Wait, are we including not just superhero movies right now?
No, this is a superhero film.
Okay.
He's about to say some Harry Potter.
It's in the answer. It's in the comments now.
I thought we were going Star
Am I
Wars.
saying it right? Is it Danye? Danye Thomas? I think I am.
Was it T'Challa?
It was not T'Challa.
Mm.
Sir Yuri G's got it. Raymond 2000 says he's got it.
Fuck you.
It is the Grand Master?
No.
It is not the Grandmaster. Everybody's thinking. Some people are thinking Star Wars. It's not Star Wars.
I
It's
was
not
thinking
Star Wars.
I thought it was
It's not Star Wars.
Obi-Wan for a second.
I
I don't know. I've guessed like twice already.
don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Charles Xavier.
Fuck!
Oh! I knew
Charles
it. I knew that
Xavier.
one.
Charles Xavier.
Yes.
Okay.
He literally says it in like all of the movies.
Yeah.
This is a good one. This is one of my favorite
I'm
ones.
ashamed of myself for not getting that one.
This is one of my favorite ones. If you're nothing without the suit, then you shouldn't have it.
Captain America said it.
No.
Tell me.
No.
No?
Nope. If you're nothing without the suit, then you shouldn't have it. It's one of my favorite ones. One of my favorite. I love the film too.
Like definitely with Tony, but I don't think it's Cap.
Raymond 2000's got it. Kenny Pierce has got it. Gray has got it. If you're nothing without the suit, then you shouldn't have it.
Was it Tony saying to Spider-Man?
It was.
Okay.
Yeah, there you
Tony
Were we
saying
doing
to
the 4 or to
Spider-Man.
5?
To 5.
Okay, I need one more.
Fuck you.
go. I kind of gave you that one. You're welcome.
This one is don't be what they made you. Ooh, that one's a little tough.
Yeah, don't do
Don't be what they made you. No. Now remember, this is not just MCU films. These are superhero films in general. Yes.
Was that Professor Xavier to Magneto?
It was not.
Fuck!
This might be DC.
It's not DC though. It's still Marvel.
Oh, it's still Marvel.
It's still Marvel, just not in the MCU.
Why would I feel like...
Don't be what they made you.
I have no idea.
I feel like...
I really feel like that's something Charles would say too.
Charles to Wolverine?
Not.
Not. I don't know.
But I will say, I will give you a hint. You got one of the people right.
Wait, he said Charles. You said Charles to Wolverine.
Yeah.
Wolverine.
Is it Jean Grey to Wolverine?
Nope.
Switch that around, maybe.
Pookie Woods got it. Gray's got it. Sir Yuri G's got it.
I feel like this is DCU stuff.
It ain't.
Said it's still Marvel, but not MCU.
I'm gonna give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2. It was.
Aunt May to
Nope.
Andrew Garfield
Nope.
Spider-Man.
Your last guess?
It was said to Wolverine.
No, it wasn't said to Wolverine.
Wolverine
I said it involves one of those characters.
And I said Xavier and Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh!
Oh.
Or wait, did you already say Xavier to Magneto?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that made sense.
That is time. That is time. That is a vague one, Cornelius. It's a vague one, but it was Logan when he was talking to X-23 when he was dying. Don't be what they made you.
On that damn
This one.
tree trunk.
Cats come when they feel like, not when they're told. Cats come when they feel like, not when they're told.
The new Batman?
Nope.
Fuck!
It's Michelle Pfeiffer, Catwoman, from the...
It is not Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman. But you do have your character.
Is it the Halle
It is the Halle Berry Catwoman.
Nice.
So that gives you your 1 there. To Trey's 0.
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of
I was
that
like,
one.
after that point, I was like, it's either Anne Hathaway or Halle Berry.
This is also one of
This
is also one of my favorite quotes. Some men aren't looking for something logical. Some men just want to watch the world burn.
That was Alfred within the Dark Knight trilogy, specifically Dark Knight to Bruce Wayne.
It was, and that gives you your 5.
That was a good one. That was a good guess.
All right, so the next round here. Here we go. Intelligence is a privilege, and it needs to be used for the greater good of people.
Xavier?
No.
Say it one more time.
Intelligence is a privilege, and it needs to be used for the greater good of people.
Is this DC or Marvel?
This is Marvel. Intelligence is a privilege, and it should be used for the greater good of the people. Be a blessing. It is not Tony Stark. Not T'Challa or Beast. Not Howard Stark. Not Aunt May.
Is it Tony to Spider-Man?
It was not. Not Nightcrawler. We'll read it again. Intelligence is a privilege that needs to be used for the greater good of the people.
I feel like this is going to be totally wrong. But
Not Nick Fury. Keep going.
Is it Thanos?
Not Thanos. Somebody else just guessed that too. Not Ultron. Not Thanos. Not Ultron. Not Green Goblin. If I'm saying it right, Dunye's got it. So Yuri G got it.
Read it one more time.
Intelligence is a gift that intelligence is a privilege that should be used. Go back up to it. Intelligence is a privilege that should be used for the greater good of the people.
can't see his.
Who is it?
Dr. Octopus?
It is Doc Ock.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, you're right.
I started playing Spider-Man again recently because the Miles Morales DLC, and I just was like, who's a coaching mentor fucking kind of, yeah, okay.
Brilliant.
All right, this one says, no matter how bad things get, or no matter how bad things get, something good is out there just over the horizon.
Holy shit, that's the most vague fucking
Yeah.
That one is a little vague.
Anyone could have said
I'll give you this one instead. Only fools are heroes because you never know when some lunatic will come with a sadistic choice. It's one of my favorite lines. It is. It is Green Goblin.
I can't see you, but
Yeah, you see me.
You see.
Here's another one. I shouldn't be alive unless it was for a reason. I know what I have to do, and I know it's right. That one's a little vague too because it's superheroes, but I'll give you this hint. It is within the MCU.
T'Challa?
Not.
Could you say it one more time?
I was like, who else has fucking died a bunch?
I
other
shouldn't
than
be
T'Challa?
alive unless it was for a reason. I know what I have to do, and I know it is right. Not Banner. Johnny said Smokey from Friday. No.
Cap?
Nope.
Fuck. Is that fucked up though that I thought of who's died the most in the MCU? Like,
Not Doctor Strange.
Fucking T'Challa.
SP Flash 1523. Got it. Pookie Wood, not Sandman. So Yuri G got it.
Is it a prominent Marvel character?
I'll give you that, sure. Yeah, it is.
Is it Tony?
It is Tony.
Because of his chest?
Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Tony
Yes.
Stark.
Good call.
Okay, yeah.
Good one. So is it 2-1? Do you have any?
1.
2-1-1.
There is no heroes or villains. There's just what I want and how I'll get it.
Thanos.
No.
Fuck!
Ding. No, not the Joker. Not Bane.
Problem, my butt is asleep. Sorry, my butt's dead.
No, that was me. Two. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
We're giving up on that one?
Mm.
That one is, because the chat's not really guessing that one either. That one is Magneto. And there was Eric Fassbender's Magneto.
I was literally going to say that. I was like, I want to say Magneto, but watch that be wrong.
I'd be lying if I said.
I had no idea.
Just shout him out.
I should just shout him out.
Shout 'em
Ask for
out.
forgiveness later, man.
Yeah, dude.
That's what
It's
I can do.
Magneto. Johnny said Michael Jordan is Scotty. Let me see here. 1 second. Okay, do this one.
With great power must also come great responsibility. Ant-Man, Uncle Ben, Esquire.
Let me see here. Let's do this. Hold on.
I'm throwing out banger quotes here, bro. I don't know what you want from me. I'm running the game now.
All right, here we go.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Who said it?
Oh no, I'm sorry. That vagued it down to like.
Alright, this character. This character said.
First answer's the right one.
Yeah.
Fill in that
man.
bubble.
Oh, I'm so upset.
Okay. Here we've got one.
I'm gonna sleep over that tonight. Watch. I lost.
Dude, just borrow an Ambien from Coopler, dude. You'll be
fine.
straight. You'll be straight.
You'll be fine.
This character said Loki. You're
Man,
my
I'm
brother.
sorry, guys. I'm trying to get a good quote.
How are
here.
you alive?
trying to get a good quote.
This character said, "Why is Gamora?"
I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora? All right. This character said, "My name is Strange, Dr. Stephen Strange."
This character said, "I am Iron Man."
Okay, here we go.
Yup.
Character said, "I am an
This character said,
This character said, Uwambe. And it's like, a bunch of them said that.
A whole lot of them said that.
But they all said it together.
This character said, Kukulkan. Fuck.
This character said Kukulkan.
Only like 13
and then the
of
snap
them.
of a carrot was heard.
Oh.
That carrot scene. Oh my god.
All right, here we go. This character said, "The hardest choices require the strongest wills." The hardest choices. Gray got it. The hardest choices. Who
Uncle
said
Ben?
it? Not Uncle Ben.
Oh.
The hardest choices require the strongest wills.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
I can't think of her name. No, who's the lady, the one that mentored Dr. Strange?
No, that's not. It's not. It's not.
Not the Grandmaster.
Grandmaster? No.
Is it Wanda?
No.
You know Wanda didn't say that shit,
You know
Trey.
Wanda ain't say no shit like that. Come on.
I know Wanda didn't say shit, but give me my kids or I'm fuck you up.
So she's talking about decisions and shit. Can you read the quote one more time?
Yeah. The hardest choices require the strongest wills.
I know it's familiar. As soon as I hear who it is.
Is it a hero? Is it a hero or a villain?
It's a villain.
Oh, never mind. I take mine back.
Oh.
Thanos.
Yes.
It is Thanos.
Ah, damn it.
I had it right as you hit the buzzer. Yep.
It is Thanos.
So is that 3?
Do you have 3?
Yes.
3, Trey?
3, and then
3, 1, and then also 1 because you didn't say Magneto.
Yeah. Oh.
You could have 2.
Here,
Why?
I can just do this.
Why would you just throw
Fuck
it back
no,
in my
because his.
face?
I can't. It's fine. I'm tired of wearing this fucking. It's giving me a headache. I'm hungry as shit.
I know, me too.
You have 3, Trey?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get 2 more. Or I'm tired.
Fuck you. Now I'm gonna. It's like beer pong. I can never make the last cup.
You got gifts, Peter, but you didn't want to be here. I'd love to have you in Berlin, but you've got to decide whether you're going to step up or not.
Tony.
No.
Nick Fury.
Nick Fury.
Oh, yeah, in the hotel.
Poor motherfucker.
After he zapped old Ned. Alright, you just need 1 more tray. And then
Your
our butts don't have to be
sacrifice
asleep.
is greater than your power.
One more time?
Your sacrifice is greater than your power.
The Grandmaster to
No.
Strange?
No.
Is that Ultron?
No.
Hero or villain?
I can't. It's a
hero.
It's a hero?
Yes, it's a hero. Your sacrifice is greater than your power.
Oh, wait, you said it's a hero?
It's a hero.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I have no idea on that one.
I was going to say Thanos.
Stephen Strange, Multiverse of Madness. This one's
Oh,
shit.
this is the evil variant Strange who was trying to kill.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I had Doctor Strange, but I didn't have him saying I had Grandmaster saying it.
You have no idea just how reasonable I've been.
Wanda.
It is Wanda.
But you can eat my fucking shorts. I would have won if you'd have gave me 10 seconds.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I got excited.
That is Wanda.
I love Wanda. Alright, now win, Trey.
Shut up.
I told you I don't want to join your super secret boy band.
Daredevil.
Nope.
Or,
Tony Stark.
Tony Stark.
Fuck you.
I was trying to say Deadpool.
I'm doing the beer pong thing.
I decided I wanted to win again.
I made a last minute decision.
This man has seen me play beer pong levels of drunk that are not even known.
This man said I was injected with a super serum and became Captain America. What's his name? Sam Wilson.
See. Let me see. No hard feelings. Point Break. Point Break. You've got a mean swing.
Tony to Thor.
Correct. What is
You
that?
got 4 right now?
Yeah.
Bro,
He's
eat
about to
my
sneak up
fucking
and win
shorts.
this.
If we're playing beer pong, I'm on fire. Balls back, actually.
Oh, I wanted to say that one, but that one's so easy.
Yeah. Is it? Fuck. What's the?
I do what he does, just slower.
Sam?
That is Sam.
Damn it!
That is Sam.
I'm sorry.
He came back and won. He came back
Rapidly.
and won. Yeah. So yeah, that was that one. You had 4. You came back and won.
Coming in with the hot one right there, y'all.
Corey had the
Both
1.
games? Which pop do I get?
But yeah, so like I said, guys, that's we wanted to. What he said, take. Pia Plessy said, take his bell.
Who's bell?
Yeah, we definitely, like I said, I wanted
this don't work like Marvel Encyclopedia. I still am the fucking reigning undefeated.
I wanted to still have
Fuck, he's trying to bring other shit into this today.
in this on a fun note, because like I said,
Fun note, they're coming for my title.
this was one of us. This it was a more toned. Weird
Who was
tone
any of this fun
stream.
for?
So definitely wanted to come in and end it on a fun note with you guys and playing games and things like that. Like I said, I that game is so much better than what we just did. I have another way I'm going to do that game. Still the same style, but it's going to be way better than that. So we're going to come back and play that game again. Like I said, guys, we are live Monday through Friday now. So we will not be live this Sunday. This will be our first Sunday where we're not live, and then we'll come in on Monday and be live with you guys then. So, we appreciate all. At one point, 130 something of you being in here.
Awesome to see.
Yeah, it's really cool. We appreciate Be Real with D Real being here, and anybody else that might have been watching. We appreciate Raymond, Sir Yuri G, Cornelius Gray, Samar Nelson, J.O. Wolf, Antonio Johnson, our super chats from D Real, our super chat from Paul, our super chats from Vale, super chats from Bruda. Pookie Wood being here. I think you said Pookie Wood. Johnny, Kenny Pierce, PTG, Marvelous. Marvelous D, SP Flash 1523. Be a Blessing. Am I missing anybody?
Anyone and everyone out there that's just supporting.
Chad, we appreciate you being here. Ashura, we appreciate you being here. Dunye, we appreciate you being here. We appreciate everybody being here. Hungry Almighty, appreciate it, bro. Appreciate everybody being here today. Like I said, this was something we knew we were going to come in and do with you guys. And D-Swag, appreciate you being here. You guys, this is, like I said, always fun.
Whoever brought up my belt, though, I don't appreciate you being here. Everybody else does. You are welcome to stay, but I don't appreciate it. I just need to make that abundantly clear now.
So we'll be, like I said, we'll be back with you guys on Monday. Like, subscribe, share this channel with your friends if you like what you see. We hope you guys do. And we'll be back on Monday to go over more things that we like to talk about with you guys. So, as I always say, oh crap, it's already up, isn't it? But that's okay.
Hey, last night you got it.
I did get it last night. I did
it's
get it.
It's a lie. I don't care. It's not true.
It happened. I was there.
I'll get it again. Like I said, I appreciate you guys being here. I'm watching the subscriber count climb each day. When I first started this channel, this is what I imagined. This is what I wanted. But you guys being here, making things happen so quickly, it's a dream come true. Honestly, I don't do this for, or we don't do this for, super chats or do this for the accolades or anything. We simply do this because, one, we love hanging out with you guys. We love spending the time with you guys. We love having you guys in the chat, the familiar names all the time. As I say all the time, it's forming friendships, and we formed. I consider Gray and all of you guys, like Sir Yuri G, Raymond, Cornelius, all of you guys. I consider you guys friends.
Yeah, he don't even like me like that.
We appreciate you guys being here. But like I said, as I always say, I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope that you guys have enjoyed this stream, and we hope to see you guys and newcomers in the next stream. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Fuck! He did it!
Yeah!